Hey there, you're listening to You Still Going On About That with Rob Israel and Joseph K. You can find us anywhere you could download podcasts. You could also find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at YSGOAT. Thanks for listening.
I'm Rob Israel.
I'm Joseph K.
You still going on about
that?
All right, Joseph, we're back.
We're back, yeah.
Joseph went away. I didn't go anywhere, right?
No,
that's why.
Sure.
I was like, let's do the podcast, and Joseph's like, no, I have to go to a place where I don't know. There's a cheeseburger in paradise.
I'm going to
I went to
the cheeseburger and the oh, you're talking about Margaritaville?
Yeah, but I was trying to set you up. You could sing something weird.
I went to a Margaritaville resort on the day Jimmy.
I don't know why you would admit that.
He passed away. It was real surreal. We got there, had a few drinks, woke up, and the very first
wearing black Cabana shirts.
I opened up my phone the next morning, and the first thing I saw was that Jimmy Buffett had died, and I was like, I almost thought I was in a dream or something like this. What are the odds of this happening? But it's true, it happened.
Were the flags on the margaritas at half mast?
No, it was really weird. Like, nobody mentioned it. Like,
don't speak. Don't bring up his death.
The only person who mentioned it. This is funny. There's a marina there, and my daughter wanted to drive a boat, and they had a bunch of like novelty boats. And one of them was shaped like a giant rubber duck. So it's a 4-person boat, but it's shaped like a giant rubber duck. And the person who I was asking the boat person, like, how do you drive it? Whatever. She's like, I don't know. We just got it yesterday off of Alibaba. Like,
well, that sounds assuring. We just
everything.
Got Temu. We just ordered from Wish.
Everything was in Chinese on the boat. Like, all the instructions, all the safety, everything was Chinese. Anyway, she was the only person who mentioned Jimmy Buffett's passing. Everyone else was like, did not mention it.
Say it. Don't bring down the mood. People are here to escape and go to Margaritaville. They don't need to be reminded of their mortality.
Yeah, well, right. Yeah, it was a very
dance or whatever. I don't know the lyrics of the song. I have no idea.
Oh. Well, it's weird. Like, a lot of his songs, like I grew up in Florida, and I spent a lot of time down in the Keys when I was younger, and he's huge there. It's like Lou Reed is to New York is what.
Yeah, probably.
Like Iggy Pop is to Detroit, or Lou Reed to New York, or like REM to Athens, Georgia. That's what Jimmy Buffett was to Key West.
To what are they?
Akron. I think they're from Akron, Ohio. They're somewhere in Ohio.
Yeah. Prince in Minnesota.
Oh yeah, Prince, definitely Minneapolis, Minnesota.
It's funny, I never realized that till like around the time he died, that he was like that was his town. Like, just didn't think that.
Yeah, he does not seem to fit into that. And anyway, so Jimmy Buffett, I used to listen to a lot of Jimmy Buffett. Not even like me personally, but it was just like kind of a soundtrack. Everyone in Florida listened to Jimmy Buffett, a lot of Jimmy Buffett. And so a lot of his songs are really like kind of wistful about like, never being able to recapture a moment, or kind of like longing for something. So it was a little melancholy, but
I just think he's also the guy who made that annoying song that you hear at like Carnival Cruise commercials or whatever, like, I don't want to work.
Oh, is that him?
I always know, like, he didn't, but I just associate and that likes that crap with like that shit as well. Like, it's just It's like that same kind of mindset. Like,
that's funny.
Every work, I like to cut back, drink 17 beers. Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah. It's funny. He like, when he died, like all the news reports said he popularized the expression "it's 5 o'clock somewhere," but like he didn't. It was like Red Skelton or something. It was like an old 1940s expression. And it also reveals like a really startling unawareness of how time works. Like, it's not always 5 o'clock somewhere.
5 o'clock. It's like 3:30. Like,
right.
Maybe 5:30 somewhere.
Yeah. So anyway, we had a great time. I really liked the resort. But it was weird. It was weird that he died. And you saw a show, right?
Yeah, I went to see Metallica. We traveled out to Arizona, and then fucking James Hetfield got COVID. Hopefully, I think I would have had it by now if I got it. The Metallica show was a fucking super spreader event. That's cool. They were supposed to do 2 nights, and we found out Saturday that the show was Friday, and the Saturday we were at a record store, and we find out someone announced like there was a tweet or something. Metallica saying the show was canceled because he got COVID. So, James Hetfield just made my son sad.
Yeah, yeah. I got a big
for years now, and no big deal.
Yeah, no, I don't.
I was like, you can't perform with COVID. What do you care? What are you some kind of libtard or something?
Well,
telling us we have to wear masks now. We'll never wear a mask again. You ever see those idiots? Like, you see how the right's like really pushing that? Like,
yeah,
it's like because that's all. It's like they're trying to go with like the greatest hits.
It's the only thing that's worked for them in the last 20 years.
Like they've going after trans kids and going after trans people and gay people. It just looks like fucking bullying. And there's people who are like, I'm not falling for it. It's like it's been a failure. But where they've had some successes was the whole mask paranoia. Like
for sure.
Won the Virginia governorship pretty much because of masks. Like so the right's like trying to figure out like we're gonna like bring this back and we're just gonna basically say that there's this huge outbreak that we're never gonna go back and they're not gonna make us mask up and we're gonna make sure no one masks up again. That's why like at the Republican convention, Ron DeSantis was like, we'll never have any kind of precautions in Florida. If I'm president, you will all die from COVID.
So weird.
You will all perish from the next pandemic because I will do nothing about it.
Why would you even box yourself in like that? Like, what if the next one is like a legitimate, really much worse disease and much more transmissible? Like, wouldn't you want to give yourself some wiggle room to like, I don't know. I mean, it just seems like such a weird hill to die on. Like literally,
a lot of people will die on that hill because it's something really. Back to that. So we did not see the second show, and but we stayed in Arizona. I liked it. I liked Phoenix. It's just too fucking hot.
It's hot.
Yeah, I can't. And the joke was we weren't even there. Like we weren't even there when like the real heat was there. Like when we were there, it was in the 90s. It was like super humid for some reason.
I was there during that stretch where it was like 118 stuff. It was crazy.
Sounds like hell, dude. It got to like 130. Like I watched a thing or something. They talked about like basically the point where humans cannot survive is like 135. Our bodies will like shut down. Like we won't be able to even like I don't know. Like there's nothing like our sweat glands won't even work. Like 135 is where we're done. And the fact that like part of Arizona got to like 130 is
it's real scary.
But the day we were there, the day before we were there, it was 107. Thankfully, when we got there the Friday, it like rained a lot, so it was like a cool night, humid 90. So it actually they were like, "Ooh, this is." I'm like, people live there like this is actually. It's freezing.
Yeah, right.
All the lizards with the
pumpkin spice weather.
What?
Pumpkin spice weather.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. They were getting like, they all had sweaters on and shit. And the next day was just was hotter.
Yeah.
I don't know, but we're back.
Yeah.
What are we gonna talk about in this podcast? We're already like 25 minutes in. Joseph went on a long tangent about cheeseburger in paradise.
Well, we have a big list. I'm gonna circle back in a moment to the thing we're gonna talk about first, but we're talking about the movie Flash, the new episode of Ahsoka.
No, this is not an old episode. Flash
Right.
aired on HBO Max or Max legal, so they don't have to pay residuals. Certain people, Max. It premiered on there, and Joseph caught it, so we figured to talk about it. Yeah, we're gonna talk about this episode of Ahsoka.
Yep, we're gonna talk about the Proud Boys sentencing. We're talking about Ken Paxton, the Attorney General of Texas, is getting impeached. Talk a little bit about we're talking a little bit about Rick Scott and Ron DeSantis kind of feuding a little bit down in Florida. We're talking about the Prager University curriculum, put that in air quotes, getting put in Oklahoma public schools.
And in Florida.
Yeah. We're talking about Tucker Carlson's big scoop interview with this guy Sinclair, who believe he has a gay Obama theory.
Well, he claims he had a gay affair.
Yeah,
like crack with him or something.
Yeah,
and he's supposed to be like a known like fraud person.
He's just like a serial criminal / lie. It's real kind of.
Yeah, it's a new low for Tucker Carlson.
That's the funny part. Like,
I mean, like a low, like how dare you do this? So Tucker Carlson, more like just like this is where he's at now after being fired.
Like embarrassing.
Like, this is the kind of story you're pushing. Okay, buddy, and like who cares? Okay, go ahead.
We're going to talk about Elon Musk suing the ADL.
Yep.
Because nothing screams "I'm not a Nazi" like suing the ADL.
Yep.
We're talking about Jordan Peterson and Bill Maher and a tweet you were kind of corralled into. We'll talk about that a little bit. We're talking about Ted Cruz drinking beer.
Oh man, what a man!
And then we'll talk about Burning Man, which is that'll be a good one to end on. I thought that my greatest fear had been like conceptualized when I heard about the Titan submersible, but when I heard that some people couldn't escape Burning Man, I was like, no, new fear unlocked. I would rather maybe have been on the Titan submersible than stuck at Burning Man.
Well, you would just have evaporated in like 5 seconds versus like getting trench foot or something.
All right, but the first thing we're going to talk about is a new internet folk hero. His name is Pink Shrek.
That's not his name. So there's a game called Starfield that came out from Bethesda. I have to look it up because I don't know anything about video games after God of War 2. I'm like really don't know any, and I mean like PS2 God of War, not God of War.
Yeah, Bethesda's two big properties over the years have been Fallout and The Elder Scrolls, both of which are super amazing, super well selling, big franchise. They're so fun. I still to this day play Skyrim, which came out like 10-15 years ago on Bethesda. Fallout, they're all so great. They're the greatest games. And it was Starfield is a brand new property of theirs.
Oh, it's not like a new version of an older
no, it's a brand new intellectual property. It's rare for Bethesda because they kind of do like,
well, that's like probably rare for any video game company.
Yeah.
You know? Once you get one hit and it does well, you're just making that game
over and over again. Yeah, but this is brand new.
And even then they'll still keep making it.
Yeah. So anyway, it was if you like role-playing games, deeply immersive, big open world games. That's
again, I don't know dick about any this stuff. I just don't.
Yeah.
Like I said, I like playing Candy Crush in the car when I'm driving long distance. Not when I'm driving, because when my wife's driving, when we were driving to Arizona, it really went deep into Candy Crush. Well, they have this new feature now, which is great. Like, when you like almost beat the board and you're like, fuck, like, lost. Now you just gotta watch some ads.
Oh.
And you get like a ball that turns everything to a different color, and that awesome ball that like if you swipe it like blows up everything. You ever like combine those two together? It's so satisfying. It just blows up the entire board.
I've never played Candy Crush.
You never played it? I thought you make jokes about it. And,
I know it's because it's funny because
poser. Fucking poser. Fucking
I
guy.
used
Talking about
to,
Candy Crush all the time. Talking about crushing candy. He's never even played it.
for years, I had a great reliable joke. Those mines aren't going to sweep themselves, which was a Minesweeper reference.
Yep.
And then
I played it like maybe one time, never understood how the game worked.
and then no one was playing Minesweeper anymore. And when people started playing Candy Crush, I recycled my old joke and said that candy's not going to crush itself. And I got another 6 years out of that joke.
Yeah. So let me find this guy's name. So Starfield comes out and let me see if I can find his name.
Are you sure his name's not Pink Shrek?
No, his name's I called him Pink Shrek. This weird British guy losing his mind over Hassan Navi. This weird British guy losing his mind over select pronouns in Starfield is a perfect demonstration why we must bring back lobotomies. This guy loses his fucking mind. I'm gonna play like a minute of this. He's got super British voice.
Mm-hmm.
Taking my headphones off. Fuck that. Bethesda. There is nothing I love more than to sit down, comfy chair, turn on my PC, fire up a brand new RPG, lose myself, think, oh my God, just think of this world, just think of all the planets I can visit, all the immersive things that I can get involved with, all the fights, all the relationships, all the people I meet, all the places I go. I'm so excited to go there. And you know, I love nothing more than with all of that laid out in front of me, nothing more than to be dragged out at every fucking conceivable opportunity so you can fucking parry players. Get immersed in our world? Yeah, well, guess what? Fucking pronouns!
Yeah, he lost his fucking mind because in I guess the character select screen or like when you pick a character, you can choose pronouns of what your character is.
Yeah.
You know, the basic building block of English. Like the funny thing about this whole these like chuds who flip out over this stuff, the pronoun thing, is like you your whole life have been calling someone he or she. You refer to them as they sometimes. Like I know it can be confusing with some people when someone is literally they as I could see how I'm sorry. But if someone's not used to that and they're like, oh no, you have to refer to them as they, it's gonna be it's gonna take some people a minute to figure it out. You gotta give people the benefit of the doubt. Like this is just a basic understanding of like how the language works. Like well, that's one thing. That's not about bigotry or anything like that. But these people lose their minds. And I guess like the joke is like they want to do away with pronouns in the English language. I guess other languages don't have pronouns actually. But English does. And these people like they get so their whole political philosophy is built around this shit. This is the kind like we were talking about like the right mass, but they've been for the past like decade now been going on this like they them like attacking anyone that uses like pronouns of any kind to describe it. Like we all use them.
It's a weird thing to put it's a weird thing to put a lot of political capital into, I think. I mean
it's insane. So Bethesda has a screen in there where a character could just be like, yeah, I'm a he, him, or I'm a she, her, or they, or whatever. Who the fuck cares? Pronouns.
You know, in Skyrim,
this guy loses his fucking mind, and he looks like I'm sorry, I don't mean to shame this beautiful person, but physically and spiritually and mentally, he looks like you know when a Terry Gilliam movie's made, and he's like, I need a casting call for all kinds of disgusting looking people in the background. I'm filming a scene in a bog and all kinds of this is like 13th century warts, lumps, blisters, and all boils, all the boils. If more boils the better, so we could save on special effects. This guy would definitely he'd be like a like a star cameo. You know what they call it? Like a cameo plus. Where
Featured cameo, yeah.
Yeah, you're on it like not a background player, a featured background player though, where you're like
yeah.
in the scene a lot, but you don't talk maybe or whatever. This dude looks like he comes out of a Terry Gilliam movie.
Yep, he does.
And I said he like I photoshopped him, and I said that I don't even know this guy's. It doesn't even matter. But the guy, he's like trying to respond and try to like he knows he's become like a complete meme.
Yeah.
But let me see if I can find my tweet. I photoshopped what is it?
Shrek ears.
I made it like pink, and I said congrats goes to Bethesda for hiring Pink Shrek to promote their new immersive video game Starfield. And I put the swamp in the background.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to make really just get that
right
feel. I wanted it to be immersive.
Well, for a fact, this guy played Skyrim, and in the first few minutes of Skyrim, you get to choose whether you want to be a human, a giant lizard, or a giant cat. So it's not like is he?
What is it like? You're trying to modern day us or something?
God.
Doesn't Starfield take place like far in the future?
Yeah, like
I think
right, years in the future.
Like I imagine that point, no one's even gonna give a shit.
Right.
Yeah, it's cool, whatever you are, man, or a woman, or whatever, or refer to you as ever you feel. Roundouts. So it just made me like crack up. Like I said, this dude is like a new.
He is comical, just in and of himself.
Created. And he's not. If he does not embrace this, he's just gonna make it worse for himself.
Yeah, he's got to lean into it.
He's got to lean into this and like put like if he like he should put out a shirt with his face on it with pronouns,
right?
And like people will buy it, and he
little steam coming out of his ears and stuff.
Yeah, like and like the smoke forms the letters.
Yeah,
he's all like angry, like like we're just giving this guy who I'm not going to mention his name all kinds of designs and everything.
That's the blueprint to six figures.
But he's already like. Yeah, he said he put out a video where he's trying to defend himself and everything, and he's already failed. He's like, it's funny. Like, this is the kind of thing where you just got to embrace it. Like, even Jordan Peterson, who we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, what's his name? Takeshi. He's a writer.
Oh, yeah. He wrote Between...
Say his name.
Between the World and Me. I don't think I've ever said his name aloud.
Takai Nose? I don't know. I'm not sure.
That sounds right. He had a run writing Black Panther for a little bit.
He also did a run of Captain America.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
There was a storyline where he basically turned the Red Skull into like a Jordan Peterson character, which makes
that's right.
sense. And Jordan Peterson responded and got mad, but he was smart enough to at least do like a lobster Hydra logo and sell the shirts to his like chud fans. Like, he had people that are like, I mean, he's a little more well established in this.
Yeah,
but if this guy was smart, he would have a whole line of Pink Shrek shirts.
Yeah,
already ready to go, screaming pronouns.
Right.
This will. Trying to modern day us. Yeah.
That's awesome. Crazy.
This guy's
well.
I hope he sticks around for a little bit. I don't know what else he can do. I don't know how you could top that. It's like lightning in a bottle.
Yep. Yeah. It's hard to peak early.
Like what? It's like another game comes out and he's gonna be like, "They better not be proud," and the crowd just goes nuts. Like he's like. Say
it.
Say the catchphrase and the vice president dies. I'm gonna dip my balls in it. Pronouns.
Yeah, he'll be the Louis of our time. He'll be the.
Well, speaking of the thing that was not the Louis of our time.
Oh yeah. The Flash. I finally caught the Flash.
Came out in June this year.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
50 years to make. I don't know. It was like announced in like they were gonna make this back in like 2013 or something.
Yeah.
And Ezra Miller has been attached to it. He's been attached to this role literally since like Batman versus like no, before that, like 2014 or whatever. I mean, they announced Batman vs Superman in 2013 Comic-Con. I swore shortly, not too long after that, they announced that what's her face will be Wonder Woman, and what's Momoa was going to be Aquaman.
Yeah.
Announced Ezra Miller. And Ezra Miller has been. It's like his name's been attached to this. He has a couple. I don't know. He has like 2 scenes in Batman v Superman. There's that really dumb scene when Ben Affleck's looking at like Lex Luthor's like, I don't know, flash drive, and he has like logos of the characters. It's like the worst. I was like, I remember theater, and I was like, this is how you're gonna show the characters.
Right.
Lex Luthor designed logos for these guys. The fucking so stupid. Hey, he's not talking to the art department. Do you have that cyborg logo? No, Lex. I need that on my flash drive. That no one's
see Lex Luthor going on Fiverr looking for like.
Yeah, Fiverr. He's hiring someone on Fiverr. I need a logo for this character for Aquaman. Who? Don't worry about it. Just like it makes narratively it made no sense. It was the worst. It's funny because there's a scene in the beginning when they show like in the ocean. There's like I don't know, whatever, the world turner from like well, it's like the remnants from that movie, and they show it in the ocean. I'm like, you know what? That if you wanted to have Aquaman in the movie, this would have been the scene to do that.
Yeah.
You're in the ocean. Pronouns.
Well,
I do that throughout the entire episode. When I get angry, I'm just gonna scream.
I will say that
I grew pink like ears on the side of my head, and
so with Flash, I'll say 2 things off the top of my head first. One is that I had built-in low expectations for it because it had gotten a lot of crap over the last few months, and 2, I saw it on a small screen, so maybe some of the effects looked any errors in effects were kind of hidden by the smallness of my screen.
The effects in the movie did not bother me except for that scene in the end. That scene is dog shit. The scene that has like all the cameos, it's just it looks like ass. Like they claimed it's like funny. They try to like do like I don't know, what do you call that? Where you put out like some bullshit like, oh, we meant to do that, you know?
Yeah, I know.
Bullshit. They're like, oh, this was stylized to be like that. I'm like, if you did, you failed. This looked like, I mean, it just didn't look good. It looked like a PS2 cutscene. Like
it did.
I mean, it looked like something that a game guy would get very angry at and scream, lose his mind over.
All that,
which is funny because the actor uses the pronoun they them,
right? Yeah,
and that guy would that British dude would just lose his fucking mind. He's like, "Oh, can't say the flag."
Well, all of that
to use pronouns.
All of that being said, I liked the Flash a whole bunch. I thought it was really good. I had a really good time watching it.
Me and my son enjoyed it, and then I saw it got like pretty bad reviews, and it didn't do well. And I was like I was saying, I know I was getting caught up with the whole like Batman versus Superman, but like then the character that same year, 2016, when Superman came out, then Suicide Squad came out that summer, and he has a quick cameo in that where he's the guy who captures Captain Boomerang.
Right.
And then like he shows up in the Joss Whedon Justice League, and he sounds like freaking what's that character from Grease, the nerd?
Eugene.
And then the Snyder Cut comes out like what, 4 years later? Wouldn't it come out like 20?
Right, yeah, 3 or 4 years later.
It was like 2021. They do the Snyder Cut, and he's like even more like worse. I don't know if they were like trying to make it like he was like autistic or something.
I think that's what it felt like to me.
But then this movie, I felt like finally comes out 2023. There were some delays. COVID didn't help. I think it was supposed to come out like a year earlier. The whole movie is like, it's like one of these movies where you just hear about like they rewrote all this shit. They had to do all these different things. I don't know. But I overall liked the story. I actually liked Ezra Miller in it, despite all the. Like, I'm not going this whole thing. He's just like, I don't know what's going on with that person anymore. Like,
right.
About them in the news, they got in all kinds of trouble. They were like doing all kinds of weird violent outbursts and being very bizarre. So this movie, like, they could not go to the movie premiere and could not promote the movie because they didn't want Ezra Miller, like, even though they are the star of the show, the literal star.
And he'd have to answer all these other questions if he showed up.
You know, it's like, if the movie does well, does he continue to keep the role? Well, now that the movie didn't do well, now they have an out and they don't have to use them anymore. But my fear is with WB, and now that's owned by Zaslav, who sucks ass. They are squishy. The Flash will be a nothing. You will never see the Flash again for like a decade. You will not see they won't put the Flash in anything. The minute like one thing doesn't do well,
they abandon it.
They will just taint it, even though it's like, just get another fucking person to play the Flash. You had a Grant Gustin play him for like a decade on WB, and he was fine. Like, I'm not saying get him, because I think you need to get like, I don't know, get like a more theatrical actor. No offense to him. Just, you know, you don't have to be locked. He did fine for the TV show, but like, I mean, it's fine. But so there was all that like weird, like, okay, the star of the movie is a basket case, and then you hear all this other weird background stuff. I don't know, but then you find out, oh, we got Michael Keaton to come back as Batman. And I don't know, I was like, I was pumped to see it. I was like, the Flashpoint story is kind of cool. They kind of use a little bit of it, like the whole like Superman being in being kept in like a bunker
in a facility.
But they changed to Supergirl. She was great.
I thought she was great.
I hope they fucking keep her. I hope if they do anything with Supergirl, I hope she's Supergirl. Like, I liked her. I know that Supergirl is traditionally like has long blonde hair, but this person like killed it. I
thought she was really good.
She was the best. She was like, Michael Keaton was great. I liked both Flashes. The younger one was kind of funny because it showed you how like he got to see like how he's annoying. And funny that he like responds to it. But like his younger self, because so you find out like his mother's killed, and in the TV show the mother's killed too, but she's killed by like Eobard Thawne, the Reverse Flash.
Right.
This one they never really explained who killed the mother. Like, I didn't do it, but they didn't have enough evidence or something to like prove that he didn't do it. They never really explained that.
You're right. I hadn't thought about that, but you're right. They didn't.
No, because in the show and in the comics, the Flash's mother's killed by the Reverse Flash,
right?
Which sets off everything. It's like the future creating the past type thing. Eobard Thawne's from the future, but they kept the mother killed part. So he does the thing where he goes to a different world where like his mother's, he changes one thing. It changes like course of history. It's like a can of soup or something. I don't know why that can of soup. What was, it was
a can of tomatoes.
I haven't rewatched the movie. Why would having a can of tomatoes change the outcome?
Okay, so in the early part of the movie, there's a scene where the mom is like, Barry, I need you to make like your special tomato sauce. So we're going to make our spaghetti sauce. And then there's that scene. And then he forgets to get the tomatoes. So the dad has to go back out to the store. And if he got the tomatoes, then no one
would have went out.
The dad would have been home and not out. And anyway, at the very end of the movie, the one thing Barry does change is he takes the tomato, because one of the early scenes was the dad couldn't get out of jail because they thought they had him on camera, which would have been a good alibi, but you can't see his face. So then Barry moves the tomatoes up to the top shelf. So when the dad needs to get the tomatoes, he looks up. And
so his face would be seen.
Yes. So he gets out of jail that way, or you assume he'll get out of jail that way. But that does change things a little bit, as we see in the very end of the movie when there's a new Batman. That
was stupid.
I thought it was really good.
I mean, it's fine. It didn't bother me. It was a funny little thing because George Clooney was in the worst Batman movie ever made. Like, hands down. It's like unwatchable. Like, I can't even like.
It was dumb. Yeah.
I can't even rewatch it as like a joke. It's like, it's just bad. Yeah, that was kind of funny. But like, so he ends up in this different world where, so the Barry in this world, who, 10 years in the past, he's like a little bit more like he has friends. Mm-hmm. He's just babied a bit because he has his mom. But he's still like annoying, but like he's not socially awkward as Barry is.
Yeah.
He just has different. I love like the little changes in the universe, like Back to the Future. Eric Stoltz did
right.
Is the actual the character, which is true in our world, except after 8 weeks of filming or something, they had to refilm everything because it just didn't work with him.
Well, we talked about that when we did our Back to the Future episode. It was because Eric Stoltz, I think he refused to take his Rocky mask off for the entire film.
Yeah, that was weird. He's like, I see this, and they're like, "Sir, this is horrifying. Please take off this makeup. It's also peeling off of you as speak. Like, you look like Pizza the Hut." It's not been invented yet because this is 85.
Right.
He was removed because it wasn't as funny, and I guess he's been interviewed, talked about it. He saw Back to the Future as like a horror movie because the idea is like, even if you went back and changed anything, like that's not your world anymore.
Yeah, right.
Like Marty, it goes back to the past and he sees like an improved world, but it's like, yeah, but you don't know who these people are.
Yeah,
like you're gonna like not remember. You're an alien to this world. The world is different now. So I guess he saw that as like, this is like more like a horrific.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And it also explains his Rocky mask. So
he wanted that element of horror, body horror too.
Right.
Yeah, it was when what's Cronenberg was originally directing.
Yeah.
They're like, we need a whole new rework. This is not working. So the Flash, there's but the one thing that's happening is that Zod is coming to Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this still plays out. He comes to Earth, but there's no Superman.
Right.
And he has to find Batman. He has a relationship with Batman on his world, played by Ben Affleck. That whole beginning was awesome. I know people give the whole baby scene.
I thought it was fine.
It looked like, is it the best CGI of the babies? No, but it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny. I'm like, who cares? I don't know. Lighten the fuck up, everyone. It was fun. I don't know. I like that whole scene. That whole scene in the beginning, and Batman was fucking awesome.
Yep.
Ben Affleck was great. It made me upset. Like, we're not gonna get this Batman. Like, we were supposed to get a Batman movie with Ben Affleck.
Yeah,
it was gonna be like the most like comic accurate like Batman, and he is like the most comic accurate Batman we've ever had. And we're not getting that movie. And the Flash kind of gave us a little hint of that in the beginning. Like,
the opening half hour was great.
He's wearing the blue and gray suit.
Yeah.
Like, which is from like the 70s and 80s. Like, that's always been like his outfit. It was always blue and gray. It was never the Batman movie in the 80s changed all that and made it that he's more darker colors. Mm-hmm. So we're never getting that. It was supposed to be like him versus Deathstroke. It was going to be like awesome. Like, he was going to direct it. It just
it would have been great.
Fun. So then Wonder Woman shows up. That scene's kind of funny. He's using like the rope. And,
the lasso of truth.
Yeah, like that whole first like 20 minutes is great. Yeah, the baby thinks like it's goofy, but like, I don't know, it didn't bother me. Like I said, the CGI has got some stylization to it. I like the way they stylized his like running and all that. It was kind of funny when they show him when he doesn't have the speed and he just runs like a goon.
Yeah.
I thought that was really funny.
Yeah.
But like that scene in the end and like the Elseworlds or whatever that thing was, and he goes like that looked like ass. Like it looked like Nintendo. It was like Banjo and Kazooie were going to show up or something.
Right.
Parappa the Rapper was going to show up in that scene.
He's great.
Yeah, so they find the Batman, and it's the Batman from the 1999 Tim Burton movies.
Yeah, Michael Keaton.
And yeah, and he's great. I like the whole like scene when he's like after their first fight, and he's like looks in the mirror, and he's like back to doing like he's like fixing a wound. And like he hasn't done this in a while. I mean, yeah, it's a little crazy that the 70-year-old man can do all those things, but again,
he's Batman.
I don't care. It's a movie. Like it was cool to see him in there. I like his whole like. I like that he understood time theory though, which is like Batman knows. When I'm not fighting the Joker and the Penguin, I
also do theoretical physics.
I have a very strong sense of what did he say? It was like spaghetti or something.
Yeah.
Like you don't go back or forth. It's like
string theory or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I thought the whole movie was real great. I could see some legitimate complaints about it, but they weren't my complaints. I had a fun time the whole time watching it. So
my son enjoyed it in the theater. There was like 3 other people in the theater. Like I said, then they go to Russia to find the bunker that has Supergirl. They free her. She's just fucking taught. When she gets in the sun, she's just like people. She's like super aggressive. It's awesome. She looks fucking hot as shit in that outfit. Like not the potato sack that she's wearing.
Right.
She's in the super suit. Yeah, she looked amazing when she came. It's like a skeleton.
No, it was really good. She was great. I like the way they portrayed the character and her portrayal of it.
I told you that Ethan Van Sciver called her like a scowling lesbian.
Yeah.
Out of here, you dumbass. I was like,
yeah. That, I mean,
yeah, I remember that. Remember she was like, just hitting on all the women. And
I can get behind people saying, look, I really wanted a traditional whatever, but that aside, I mean, I thought it was a great movie. I thought it was really fun.
She definitely worked for like the whole like the way Krypton was portrayed in that movie, Man of Steel and all that. The only thing I would say is like, okay, so James Gunn was like pushing like this is where DC Universe changes. This is where, and I was like, is it? I watched the movie in the end. I was like, what I liked about it too is just kind of felt like a self-contained movie. Yeah, there was references to other DC movies, and there's a stupid scene with Aquaman. Did you see that after credit scene with Aquaman?
Yeah, where he was drunk.
Yeah, that's kind of dumb.
Yeah,
but there's some cool scenes and everything like that. But it works as just like a nice self-contained movie. I don't think this movie introduces a new DC universe.
Yeah, I can't see how it does that.
I feel like he just kind of. They told him to just say that. I feel like if you were, because the whole thing about Flashpoint, the comic, the storyline, kind of follows the same thing. Flash goes back in the past, tries to save his mother, ends up creating a whole new universe. They use that as a catalyst to create the new 52.
Well, that's right. Yeah.
2011, they revamped everything. Literally,
I remember that. Yeah.
Changed, and they called the new 52. It lasted like 5 years. Like they revamped, then they revamped it again and again. But the whole point was whatever actions the Flash did ends up changing the reality. So for this movie really to live up to that, they would have, because even in the end of the series, in the end of Flashpoint, you get to see like a little bit of the new 52 in the end. Like Flash has a new outfit. Batman looks a little different. Like everything was just like a little different.
Yeah, slightly changed.
Full redesign. This could have been a cool opportunity to like be like, of course they already filmed the movie ready like a year ago. They weren't going to do all this stuff, but they really were to live up to the whole Flashpoint change and everything. not having George Clooney showing up as Bruce Wayne is just like a little gag. The gag. And I guess there was an original ending where Ben Affleck was there, and there's an original film scene where Ben Affleck and what's her face, who plays Wonder Woman, show up.
Gal Gadot.
Yeah, they changed all that, and they just changed it to like the little George Clooney gag, and then his tooth falling out, which is kind of funny because it's like he forgot that he literally just glued his tooth.
Yeah.
So if they really were going to live up to the comic, they should have had it that like even you just dropped a little hint of what to expect in the new James Gunn DC universe, even if it was just like one little scene, or you have the new Superman show up or something, just like whatever. But they just didn't do that, and I think they just dumped the movie out. Like I said, they couldn't really promote it the way they wanted to because the star is like toxic. I guess is the best way to describe it.
Yeah,
I mean, I like the whole like you find out like in the beginning of the movie or whatever, he gets like hit by this guy and he looks all fucked up, and you're like, what the hell is this? And you don't see him, and then you find out it's the other Barry because he wants to try to fix the past, and he keeps doing it. He keeps failing.
He's been doing it for years. Yeah.
You find out he's doing it for like decades, and he's that guy. And every time he does it, you see like those spikes land on him, and that's where he turning into that monster. And then that one dies, and it's like kind of sad. And he gets to see his mother for one last time, and that's
right. Yeah.
It's like it's well done. It's a good story. It just sucks that like everything. It just had a lot working against it that I think it just stinks. I feel like it's been a good movie, but because of all the bullshit with the Snyderverse and all the Snyderverse bots on the internet, and then the whole bullshit with like Ezra Miller and all the chuds online who obsess over pronouns and all that shit.
Right.
Like they were targeting him, or her, I'm sorry, them, targeting them because I think they're bi. And married. I don't know. It's LGBTQ.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So there's already like they naturally just go after that shit, and then on top of it, all the other stuff going on, and just all the stuff going on behind the scenes, and I think the other problem too is like someone said like, oh, the Flash was on TV for like a decade, and it wasn't even like it did well, but it was not like it
was a CW show. Yeah.
So like, why would people go see a movie of it? I think the other problem with the Flash, and this is my issue. I always have this issue too with the CW show is the one thing they failed at with the Flash is Flash has a rogues gallery that rivals Spider-Man and Batman.
Right, I have heard this. Yeah,
Captain Cold, I don't know, Weather Wizard. I don't know. I guess it doesn't rival since I don't know who they are. But Mirror Master, there's a lot of really cool villains, and they're like a gang, and they work together, and they go against the Flash. And they really failed at them, the show. They didn't really ever get the Rogues like this should have been a season with Rogues Gallery, and like the Flash has to fight them, and they never did that. And then the movie could have been an opportunity where you get the Rogues. What did I say they were? The Rogue
Gallery.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. And they just never. I think that could have been cool. They never took advantage of those assets from that character.
Yeah.
On the show.
Yeah, that is true.
Every season, it was always like the new speedster of the year, and they just never really exploited his Rogues Gallery on the show. And I always thought that was like a failure. They cast what's his face to play Captain Cold, and they threw him on that show. The Legends of Tomorrow made him a hero, so he wasn't even a villain anymore. And then he left the show. He didn't want to do it anymore.
Right.
So it was like that was like Flash's like one of his biggest enemies just wasted because of poor decision making.
Yeah.
And I feel like the movie, I don't know what they intended, like, because they made this movie before James Gunn came into the picture as taking over the DC universe.
Okay.
He always said that this would rewrite the DC universe.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I
he's
don't
said that a
know
lot.
and I don't know how it would have or how.
Mm.
Because like I said, the George Clooney thing to me is just like a gag. It doesn't, anyone who watches that and thinks like, oh yeah, that means George Clooney's gonna be Batman now.
Yeah, I thought it was
You're a fool. I'm sorry. Like, no, George Clooney's not gonna be Batman. It's just like a little joke.
yeah. I mean,
If
it
it
wasn't
wasn't George
crazy
Clooney-
intellectual, but it was fun. I liked it.
No, but I'm saying if it wasn't gonna be George Clooney, it would have been Val Kilmer. But unfortunately, Val Kilmer is not doing well these days.
Right.
But he probably would have been the Batman that shows up. You know what I mean? Like that
Yep.
would have been funny. But yeah, that scene when he's in like the weird vortex and you see like the Nick Cage Superman, which I think is funny, but come on, most people are like, what the fuck?
Right.
What is this? Like, I mean, it's a joke based on a Kevin Smith joke from like 2 decades ago.
Yeah.
Like he talked about like how they wanted a spider in the movie. So then they show him fight a giant spider in that scene. And I'm like, you really, yeah, because you remember that? He's there and then he's fighting a giant spider. That's based on a joke. Kevin Smith, when he originally was hired to write the script for Superman Lives, which would have been the Nick Cage Superman movie, the producer told him, you have to have a giant spider in the movie. And you found out for decades, this producer wanted a giant spider in everything he worked on. And he finally got it in the Wild Wild West from that movie that starred Fresh Prince.
Oh,
Will Smith.
Yes, Will Smith.
Remember that Wild West movie? There's a giant spider in the end.
Yeah.
That's that producer.
Oh, jeez.
Because Superman Lives fell apart. It didn't happen. But like Nick Cage, it got to the costumes and they were ready to film it and they decided not to do the movie. So it's crazy that they reference that in this movie, a movie that that never came out. Like,
right.
Maybe people like my age get the joke, but I imagine like a 20-year-old or whatever seeing this movie is like, what?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I mean,
I don't know. It's a missed opportunity. It stinks. I know. It kind of stinks because, like, all right. I guess I want to just talk about like why it did bad, and then we'll just spend too much time on this. But like, I think like there was like all these different things they blamed. Oh, superhero fatigue, like bad writing, or like the actor played the character. I don't know. There's like a lot of elements. I think too. Maybe people don't really know C-level DC heroes. I mean, like Blue Beetle came out and it got good. Like people liked it, but it didn't do well. But I think they said that, and we'll see if this is true. That guy who was playing Blue Beetle, the guy from Cobra Kai, he will still play Blue Beetle, even if it's like maybe they don't make a Blue Beetle 2. He will show up in the James Gunn DC.
Yeah. All right. You think?
I don't know. I said that. I don't know. I didn't write this shit. I said that it's supposedly it's been confirmed that he's still the Blue Beetle. Like they're not gonna just like
I guess that makes sense.
Away. But this one, I don't know. I mean, why do you think it didn't do well?
Well, I don't know. I think my theories are that it was hyped too much and then the reviews got too negative as a result of the hype. I think that might be some of it. I don't think like Ezra Miller's behavior made the film do poorly, but I also think that maybe Ezra Miller just isn't a big star. You know what I mean? I think that Ezra Miller's not maybe as famous as they thought. And I think that Michael Keaton appealed to me as Batman, but I'm like this old dude,
Yeah, I mean, the last time he was Batman was 1991.
Yeah, I think that they kind of overplayed that hand. Like,
sorry,
a lot of kids don't care about Michael Keaton. He was an icon to me. He was in Mr. Mom.
Yeah, he was the Vulture in the recent Spider-Man movie. And that was a big hit. And he was
I'm not like I said. I mean, I'm not saying he. I
think young people have watched the Tim Burton Batman movies. I don't think they're like that ancient that they wouldn't watch it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I think that's another one. Is that I think that the star power wasn't quite there.
Yeah, like the girl who played Supergirl was not an unknown. I never seen her.
Yeah. And lastly, I think that I know other movies did well comparatively, but I think it was up against stiff competition. It was out at the same time as Spider-Verse.
Yeah, Spider-Verse came out like a few weeks before that, and that one was killing it.
Yeah.
And this is supposed to be like, and that's about like multiverses and multiple characters.
Right.
They just knocked it out of the park with that one. But then, yeah, and then I it's like funny. It wasn't just the Flash that bombed. Indiana Jones bombed.
Yep.
Transformers didn't do well. The Fast and Furious didn't do well. And those movies, like, they think those movies just bring money. And it's like, maybe people don't have money.
Yeah.
And then they said a lot of the streaming service people said, I remember it was like around that time when like the Pixar guy was like, yeah, the reason why no one's seeing what was that movie? Figment? I don't even know, what was it? It was like a Pixar movie.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because he's like, they'll just wait like 3 months for it'll be on Disney Plus.
Yeah. I think that also makes a lot of sense. So I think all those things and probably combined are the reason it didn't do as well, because I really believe it's a good movie.
Yeah.
I think it's a good movie. I liked the cast. I liked the acting. Even the weird decisions with special effects and stuff, I liked. I thought
you
it was
like
kind
that
of fun.
scene in the end, though?
No, I mean, I didn't like that scene, but I'm like,
I mean, I didn't hate the scene. I just didn't like it. Just didn't look good.
Yeah.
It looked
like I said, I saw it on my TV. So, I mean, I was kind of looking at it like maybe it looks better on my screen because I saw it on a very like a 33-inch TV or something.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it certainly didn't ruin anything for me.
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't know. I liked it.
Joseph is easily amused. That is the lesson of this podcast. No, I was kidding.
Yeah, well, like, look,
I like stuff. I like being entertained. I had a good time.
What do I want from a Flash movie? Probably stuff like what I saw. Honestly,
Babies
I mean,
thrown in a microwave.
Yeah.
The shit I want to see it. No, I'm kidding. Like I said, I give the movie like a B. I like it.
A solid B for me, maybe even a B plus.
Like I said, I just think like it's a shame that it didn't do well. It feel like, and then I don't even know what the deal. Like I said, Blue Beetle came out and it didn't do that great. These movies still cost like a shit ton of money. Yeah. It's like I don't even know what it made in the end. It got decent reviews, and the people who saw it really hyped it up. But there's Aquaman, which I don't even know if that's even coming out this year now.
Yeah.
I feel like with the fucking writer strike and the actor strike, these studios now are going to start delaying the shit out of everything. Marvel already announced that I think Marvel's is still coming out and Loki's still coming out. But
not until later.
No, Loki's still coming out in October, and I think Marvel's is supposed to come out also. But those are going to be the last things to come out this year. And then what's funny? It's like Marvel's. I heard it's only like 96 minutes long.
Oh, geez.
It's like, no, I know. Doesn't that sound weird? Like that should mean like, wow, it could be like a cool movie. Like it's an hour and a half. That's what a movie should be. RoboCop was only like 89 minutes. Yeah. But it also makes you feel like, what's wrong with this movie?
What is wrong with it?
What did they edit out? It's like, oh no, like it's so funny. You can't win. Like, why is this fucking movie 3 hours? Why is it only 96 minutes?
Right.
What's that about? It's like really funny. Like, what's going on?
Gaffigan.
Yeah. Why is this 3 hours long? Why is it only 96 minutes?
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm sad that we didn't get to...
Yeah. So Ahsoka. Sorry, we're gonna talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
X-Men 97, which was a cartoon supposed to be on Disney Plus, that got delayed to next year.
Yeah.
Because they have nothing. They haven't made anything. That fucking Zaslav guy, they said that I forgot what it was, the number to what the strikers want.
Mm-hmm.
These studios have already lost way more.
Yeah, yeah.
They had to pay these people.
Right.
What their demands were. They've already lost more than that. From not producing anything and making anything for the past like 4 months. More money's been lost. It's like these people are like they will cut their nose to spite their face. Like, and Zaslav still makes like $400 million a year or some crazy shit.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're
Yeah.
going to talk about that later when I talk about
Right.
Bill Maher. Okay. Let's talk about Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Okay.
I liked it a lot. I thought it
Yeah, it was good.
probably moved the quickest of the. This is the fourth episode.
Yeah, we didn't talk about the third one because
no, we were on break.
I
for the
did
third
just
one.
to be clear, I really did not care for the first two episodes. First episode, the first 20 minutes of that episode was amazing.
Yep.
And then Sabine showed up. It just
Yes.
it just I don't know. It's not the actress's fault. It's just like the story pacing sucked. And I was like, what's going on? And then like the last 20 minutes of episode 2 started to pick up with Chopper.
Mhm. Yep.
You know, the lightsaber fights and all that shit when they were escaping with the engine. That was really cool. But like they premiered 2 episodes and I was just like, oh no, the show sucks. Like it's not that good. It's like it's not bad, but like it's not that good. I'm like, we need it to be good. I feel like after Secret Invasion came out, which again is not Star Wars, but it's still Disney Plus, still part of the Disney machine.
Yeah.
Like we can't have a stinker. We need something good. But then episode 3 was good. There was like a
solid
dog fight. There's you got to see those whales. I thought that was kind of cool.
Oh yeah.
Got to see who's playing the Green Lady again?
Is it Mary? Mary, not Wither. God, what is her name?
That's
it's
why
Withers.
we get when we talk about these shows.
Yeah.
That's why we pull up IMDb.
God, it's on the tip of my tongue. It's like MW is her initials.
I'm just gonna pull up IMDb.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Well, yeah, okay. Mary, yes.
See her butt in her outfit. Everybody's doing this so many.
Yeah.
There's so many leads of her and Sabine. The outfits.
Yeah.
You got to see her. You got to see Mon Mothma and her having to deal with like all the bullshit. And you're like, okay, this is why the New Republic failed because it's almost like it kind of reminds me of like reconstruction of the Civil War.
Yeah, I can see that. Sure.
Like where it's like we want to get everybody in. We don't want to like associate, but there's people who are like imperial. They die. Like they're not going to give that up. You can't just accept them back in. You have to like because they say like the Reconstruction period was like in the end was a failure in the United States. And that's why we have all this bullshit to this day with the South still. And that's kind of like I like how they reference those type of things, and it's like, well, they don't really have a military, the New Republic. They're like destabilizing all these imperial ships, and it's like, dude, take those ships.
Yeah.
Swap them and turn them into the New Republic.
Right. Just chop them up.
Chop them up, man. Like, yeah, she's trying to like get a brigade, like a small brigade or whatever to go. That one senator's an asshole. And I like when she says, like, what were you doing during the war? Were you just waiting to see who won?
No. She was
like, yeah. Well, that's what she says to that senator. She's like, during the war, and that one senator, he's like, she's like, you were just probably waiting to see who wins. Like you're suck. Like you're
right. You're part of all this.
So that was a good episode, but then this episode was just like episode 4 was amazing. It ended up being like one of the best shows on TV, or like one of the best Star Wars shows.
How so?
Episode 4. Did you not like it?
Yeah, no, I thought it was. I thought it worked really well. I guess I'm trying to think like what did make it.
It's just the pacing.
The pacing.
The lightsaber fights were good. The whole it was the pacing. Now the problems with episode 1 and 2 were the pacing.
Yeah.
And the pacing for 4, and then even when Hera shows up with her ship, X-wings, and they get there right as that thing goes off the portal. Yeah.
That was a crazy scene where the X-Wings just sort of like drifted, like someone shot a cue ball into the formation, and all the X-Wings kind of crashed into each other.
Got, knocked out. It was crazy.
I think you're right. I think it was mostly the pacing. Every scene ended pretty quickly, pretty cliffhangery, and led right into another interesting scene.
The fights was good. Sabine kind of I went like, is she turning the dark side? I guess that's. They said that there's like little clues, and they were throwing people off. Like the one thing was like, who's this Merrick guy, or what's his
Yeah,
name,
yeah,
or whatever, and everyone thought it was going to be Ezra. People thought it was going to be this guy from like Jedi killing some video game. I'm like,
right.
that would have been weird. People have been
Yeah,
like, ooh. They thought it was going to be that Jit Kanan or whatever from Rebels. And it
right.
ended up being what ended up being revealed was like Ahsoka beats him, and then like all the shit cut, like it was like smoke comes out.
What
They
was
said
that?
well, they might reveal who he is, but the Night Sisters, which is something they
Yep,
introduced.
I've heard
woman,
that. Yeah.
well, that woman, the main villain or one of the main villains, what's her name?
Yeah, I know.
Morgan, who was the bad guy in that. She was the bad guy in that Mandalorian episode that where you first meet Ahsoka in live action. She
Okay.
fights. There's no mention of her being a Night Sister, and I feel like they kind of.
Yeah.
I'm like, did they always plan that, or did they just go like, let's just make her a Night Sister?
It sounds like the second version. Yeah.
Yeah, the Night Sisters are like these characters for. I guess originally episode 3 was going to end up being like 7 hours long, and he wanted to introduce the Night Sisters and all this stuff. It's like shit that should have been introduced in episode 2 probably, but it was like this whole like weird sect of witchcraft, and like these are ideas Lucas had, and they were able to bring it into fruition with the Clone Wars cartoon, and that's how like Maul came back.
Yep.
Well, they healed them through the Night Sisters, and I guess
As a giant spider.
well, they never explained how he ended up like he
Yeah,
had
that's true.
spider legs, and like he was found in like in a junkyard or some shit, and then
Yeah.
the Night Sisters like fixed him, and then he just had like normal human robot legs or something. I don't know. And they healed him. He was completely crazy. But he basically, I guess they can resurrect people.
Yeah.
The Night Sisters, and that's kind of what that is. So we might find out who this character is, or that character's just dead. I don't know. It almost felt like what are those things from Lord of the Rings? Those the
ring bearers, are you
talking about ring wraiths? No, those are ring wraiths. Isn't the ring wraith from fucking Harry Potter?
I think they were called ring wraiths. There's a formal name for them that begins with N, like Galson or something. There's some long name
in Lord of the Rings.
But I think they're also called ring wraiths.
Yeah, like it's kind of like almost like that. It's like this. Like, really, they're dead or something. I don't know. So I thought that was kind of cool. And then like, what's his face was great as Balin. It's sad that he's the actor.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he was an interesting character.
He was great as Balin, and it shows that like, is he a Sith? And it's almost like he really isn't. And I guess the theory is that Shin is his daughter, maybe. I don't know. Like that's the girl that like works for him, the one who looks like Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, yeah.
He supposedly that might be his daughter or whatever. Like, it's interesting. It's like, is he Sith? I mean, like, I feel like the lightsabers look red, but in the preview they looked orange originally.
Yes.
And I'm wondering if they decided to just change them to red, or like, okay, this is like a new sect of like Jedis. Like they're not Jedis, but they're not Sith Lords either, because the Sith is like its own religion in a way.
Yeah.
And he seems to like hold on still to he seems like have some honor still. Like, when he says I'm a man of my word, like when he tells Sabine, like, come with me, I'm not gonna fuck with you, like. And Sabine decides to go on the adventure to find, we'll find Ezra and everything. But like, I don't know. I wonder if they're going to reveal that all. I don't think he's a Sith Lord or anything. I think it's like they're just like Jedis that use these powers, but like it's weird because like the Sith does whatever it wants with the power. I don't know. They're like a weird, like a religion itself, and it seems like he's like agnostic.
Oh geez, yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Do you think, what do you mean by like agnostic? Like he's just kind of indifferent to the whole thing?
Well, yeah, like he's not like he doesn't follow the Jedi.
Yeah.
code 100%, but he also doesn't follow the Sith. I know there was like all these theories like, oh, there's gray Jedis, whatever, but I don't think he's even that. I think it's like it's just a fucking guy who has Jedi abilities and like because the joke is Ahsoka doesn't 100% follow the path of the Jedi. She left the Jedi in the Clone Wars. She left the Jedi. She came back like in like season 4, whatever. Something happens and she like abandons, like she's not a Jedi anymore. So she never like she's not a Jedi Knight, Ahsoka. She kind of does what she wants sometimes, kind of goes against what Jedi's do. They even said that in the episode. If you watch it, like she kind of does like some like Vader shit a little bit.
Yeah,
like,
well, she did. I mean, she yeah, you can tell she doesn't like walk the path straight and narrow. Well, that's a good way to say it. Yeah.
So I think that's kind of what we're dealing with. Like, yeah, like is Balin a bad guy? I mean, yeah, because
he's working with the Empire, so yeah,
working with the people who want to like bring back, like start a war. Basically, that's what Ahsoka's saying. Like, you want to start a war,
right?
You want to prevent a war, another war from happening. But then there's like this whole theory that like really what Balin wants is so in the end of the episode, Ahsoka falls off, and then she ends up in the Soul Gem in Avengers Endgame. Didn't it look like the Soul Gem? It was like a baby Gamora, like no, she wakes up. No, it's this like weird. I don't know what it's called. It's like a weird portal. They introduced this in like Clone Wars and Rebels, and I thought it was like it'd be one of these things they never would bring to live action. But this is the first time they bring it to like live action with like actual actors. She wakes up in that weird like it's like a bridge or something between worlds. And
the world between worlds.
And then she sees Anakin.
Yeah.
And I remember I saw some things like, man, that de-aging looks like shit. But I almost feel like it's like intentional. Like he's not, I don't know. It didn't bother me that much.
It didn't bother me. I mean, I've kind of moved past that.
Hopefully in the next episode, it doesn't like, I feel like for that scene, it worked. Like like, spectral, like, I don't know. But I thought that was kind of cool when she sees Anakin. And it, some people like it makes the most sense. Like, and I always thought that'd be kind of cool with like Force Ghosts. Like Luke sees Obi-Wan as an old man because that's how he knew Obi-Wan.
That does make sense.
Like, you would perceive him as like this older man. Maybe if other people see Obi-Wan's Force Ghost, he looks more like Ewan McGregor.
Yeah, like your own personal relationship with him kind of dictates how he appears. Yeah, that makes sense.
So at her seeing now, Luke does see Anakin in the end as Hayden Christensen because they decided to change that in the DVD back in 2004. But also Lucas just wanted to tie everything in together. But it would make sense that he would see Vader as what he looked like when he died. Like,
that's
Anakin
the version
died in episode 3. Really, that's why he sees him as Anakin in the end from episode 3 versus that old actor, old man they got to play, helmet. I'm talking about the original actor they got to play Vader in the ghost scene. That Anakin, it contextually makes no sense after the prequels came out, so it makes sense. Like, let's put Anakin in the young Anakin in that scene. It's kind of funny too. I was like thinking about that. Like in episode 3, Anakin is like when he turns to Vader, it's around the same age Luke is in Return of the Jedi. It's like a rite of passage, but Anakin gets turned to the dark side, but Luke doesn't get turned to the dark side. But they're around the same age.
Yeah.
In Return of the Jedi. So I don't know what to expect next episode. I thought it was really good. Like I said, the pacing was
much better.
Much better. Again, though, I was like looking at the directors. Filoni did not direct this episode, and Filoni did not direct the last episode either, which might be like, maybe shouldn't direct episode.
Yeah.
Hopefully there's 4 episodes left. I'm assuming we'll probably meet Thrawn in the next episode.
Hopefully. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I've been enjoying it so much so far that and Thrawn hasn't shown up yet. And 'Cause I remember one of the big critiques was like, with the first 2 episodes, and they weren't that good. And it's like, okay, you're going to introduce these like villains, and they're not that intriguing, or yet you're introducing villains to hype up another villain. But now I feel like these villains are formidable that
Mhm.
I don't even care if Thrawn shows up yet. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I hope Thrawn's good. I
Okay.
think that
Yeah, I hope so too. I don't know. Okay, so like, you have anything else to say about the episode, or no?
no, I mean, I guess not. I liked it a whole bunch. I guess I'm kind of stuck because it's definitely a middle episode. I mean, it
They
begins with
consider it
all.
the mid-season finale. I mean, there's 8
Yeah,
episodes.
actually, that's not a bad way of looking at it, because that would be a good way to end the first half of the season. If they
Yeah.
release this as 2 4-episode bursts or something on Netflix or whatever, that'd be a nice logical place to end halfway through.
Having Anakin show up in the end.
Yep, it's not exactly a cliffhanger per se, but it's like definitely ending on an area of interest.
I love the robot fight scene. I thought that was
Yeah.
awesome. I love that. That droid's awesome.
Yeah, the Rock'em
I like
Sock'em
that.
robots.
Yeah, that scene was great.
Yeah.
Sabine's a little jerk.
Yeah.
Well, they said that there's all these like rumors. They said pay attention to the beginning with the helmets.
Yeah.
The blue side is the good guys, and when it's red, it's a bad guy. And they said that's why everyone thought that, what's his name, Merc, whatever the fucking
Murrock or something.
Merc,
Yeah,
which is like stands for wolf or something, werewolf or something. I don't know. There's like, I watched all these like different things like explaining it, like Arthurian legend or whatever. That his helmet was blue, but Sabine's helmet is red, meaning she's gonna turn into
yeah. Could be.
I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I liked it. I feel better about it now. And they didn't have any pronouns.
No, but it was like another like female. I'll bet you Pink Shrek would complain that it was so female centric.
Why is there so many women in my Star Wars?
But it's noticeable. It's
I like
noticeable.
Chopper. I like he's like a fat.
Oh yeah, the little astromech.
Yeah, Chopper's the best. He's like, it's like
he's good.
There's like some words kind of sound out.
Yeah. You hear him in the background, maybe. I mean, I'm
he's like the teacher from Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
You remember?
Yep, I do. Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we'll move on. It was good.
Yeah.
I liked it. I can't wait for the next episode.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward, and I am kind of reinvigorated after what was maybe a little shaky start. So
yeah, you liked those first 2 episods. You said
I did. I love the first half hour of the first episode. I thought was great. I thought it was really, really good. And I'm including both the kind of Indiana Jones scene and the starship throwback to A New Hope. I thought both of those were great scenes to open that show with.
So you know how Balin destroyed the
map?
The map?
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. They said that what if like she picked it up and it burned into her hand?
Yeah.
That the map print of that thing, because it's got like grooves and shit, is burnt into her skin. It's like the Nazi from the first Indiana Jones movie. Remember the things burned into his hand.
Right.
That they're gonna be able to get there.
Oh, that's funny.
But she's also in that weird world between worlds thing. She might be able to get to wherever she needs to go through that. She might be able to get to where they are from there.
Could be.
And supposedly the theory is that Balin wants to go to that world between worlds. That he's not really concerned about Thrawn. Like he's just working with them. He wants to go to that place. He's using it thinking to get to the thing that Ahsoka's in the end with Anakin. That's where Balin wants to go, supposedly.
Yeah, okay. I mean, it's not out of the question.
Okay, sure. Again, all this stuff is like a lot of these dudes always get proven wrong. Everyone's like guessing again with that one dude. They're like, it's Ezra. It's come on, it's this guy from this video game from 15 years ago. You know, it's like it's not gonna be that guy from the video game.
Yeah.
Like, who? You mean Knights of the Republic? What? No one's gonna know what the fuck that is. All right.
Okay, so we're gonna shift gears. This is our first serious topic, I suppose, and that is that
talking about these ass clowns.
Yeah, a bunch of the Proud Boys got chucked headfirst into prison, which was pretty funny.
Long prison sentences.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking like 10, 15, 20 years or so for this batch of people, and that's a crazy long time. That Enrique, the Tario, the leader of the Proud Boys, he got like 15, 17 years or something.
22.
Oh, that's right. He got 22.
Biggs, whatever the other guy,
Biggs,
Joe Biggs, he got 17 years.
That's what I was thinking of. Yeah. And like a lot of these people have like kids. They're not going to get out of prison until like they're in their mid 60s or something.
I don't feel bad for them.
Oh yeah, I mean,
like they clearly didn't give a shit about their fucking kids.
No, and there's a difference between. I do believe there are some people there that got carried up into the moment and may have done some things, and maybe they deserve only minor penalties, like probation.
Anyone involved? No, see, the thing is, anyone involved the Proud Boys, they were an active militant group.
Right, they had stated goals.
They weren't just some random people that were there. They're literal domestic terrorists. Like Dominic Pizzola got 10 years. This is my favorite one. This guy, Don Pizzola, is just some Proud Boy. He didn't get sedition charges like Biggs and Tario got. But this guy got 10-year prison sentence because he broke through windows with a riot. He stole a riot shield from a cop and broke windows, and I guess he did a bunch of other shit. Well, one of the funniest things about this guy was he gets his he's about to get sentenced or whatever.
Are you talking about Enrique Tario?
No, I'm talking about this guy Pizzola, who's another.
Oh yeah, right.
He got 10 years. It's the one with the riot shield. So he's crying, saying like he doesn't even follow politics.
Not me, yeah.
He doesn't even care about politics anymore, blah, blah, blah. And supposedly the judge leaves the room and he screams, Trump won 2020. It's like, I'm so fired. It's like, enjoy prison for 10 years, you dumb fuck.
Yeah, it was not a smart move.
10 years for doing some dumbass, like, fuck him. But the Tario guy is a piece of shit. He deserves way more. He should have gotten, he was supposed to get 30. I guess they were nice. And the funny thing is, the right wing's like freaking the fuck out about this. They're Trump judges that are the ones that are putting these people away. Yeah. It was a Trump judge that gave him 22 years.
I think the people that support these J6ers are such a minority. I mean, I think it may feel like they are everywhere, and they certainly are very vocal.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what to think about that. I haven't really talked to anybody that was wanted to have a conversation with anyone that was sensitive January 6th. Sure. I don't know. It's hard to gauge. I think that it's not as little as you think. I think if you're supporting Trump now in 2024 for the 2024 election, you want him to win, you clearly are fine with January 6th.
Yeah.
And you're fully behind it. You think it was just a protest and that those Democrats are abusing their power to arrest these innocent patriots that were trying to keep the country going.
To indoctrinate.
I'm trying to find the list. There was like a whole list of people of all the different prison sentences. Some other Proud Boy got like 17 years as well. But the Biggs and Tario were the leaders. Biggs, he was not a couple of months before, like in November, whatever, he was having dinner with like Lindsey Graham and Trump.
Yeah, I remember.
These guys were the brown shirts of the fucking. They were Trump's brown shirts. I mean, remember at one of the debate the first debate when he said stand back and stay by or whatever. You remember Trump said that?
Yeah, stand back. Yeah, because there was a bunch of people today telling the prison guards to like stand what is it? Stand down and stand by, or
It
something
was
like
stand
that.
back and stand by. He
Okay,
literally
yeah.
said that, and it was like, what the fuck? Like the Proud Boys were literally Trump's brown shirts.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it was all Joe Rogan promoted them. He had Gavin McInnes on it. They tried to make it like it was just a social club. It was a joke.
Right, yeah.
No,
Like there's,
they were
yeah.
like hardcore fascists, racist, misogynist. Like I said, they'll allow minorities in the group, but it
Oh,
says
yeah.
like you have to accept the fact that this is a white country and that
Yeah.
white people are the ones that created it, and yeah, they'll allow you in there. You just have to, So yeah, Joe Biggs is the. I love that this some fucking race bait account called like Ed Wokeness or something. It was like
Right, yeah, I
it was that
remember
one
that.
was like crying about how Joe Biggs has like his mother has cancer and his kid, and it's like, there's tons of people that commit crimes all the time that screw over their families.
Right,
There's
yeah.
people who commit crimes and abandon their children and abandon sick relatives. They don't get special treatment. This fucking guy is a fucking criminal. He committed sedition. He wasn't just there on January 6th. He was an active leader of the group.
Yeah. Yeah, he was. I mean, he's the ringleader. He was I don't know. I know a lot of the people complaining about this today are pointing out the fact that he wasn't there as some sort of evidence, but I don't know. I think they're just completely missing the point on that. There's plenty of times in which the guy, like, he wasn't at the Capitol. Tario.
Tario, yeah, but
yeah, I know. I keep jumping back and forth between them.
He was there the night before. He was in jail for defacing a black church. Do you remember that?
That's right. Yeah, yeah.
So he was already fucked to begin with.
Mm.
He's been in prison since already. These guys have been in prison for years now. That's what's funny. Now I don't know if they're going to get reduced sentences. Like, is it Joe Biggs really only going to be there for like 15 years?
It could be. I mean, I don't
served, or is that in addition to the time served?
Yeah, I think it's all in how I think it could be either. They'll probably rewrite it. Yeah. Like
I thought that's how it works, is if you're in jail, they usually, and you're still in prison, but you finally get sentenced.
You get credit for time. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. You do get credit for time served.
Fine, even if he's in jail for 15 years, it's like, dude, this is not a young man. Like, these are not young men. They're like in their 40s. Like, these fucking clowns, dude. Scott McFarlane tweeted, he said the prison sentence could keep the Proud Boys leaders behind bars for the next 5 president elections.
Nice.
But here's the thing, though. Okay, so all these bigger names now getting. See, me and you would talk about this. We would get like kind of frustrated because we'd see like all these people who got arrested getting like small prison sentences. Like shaman's out now.
Right.
That job's out. That girl who stole Nancy Pelosi's laptop only got like like 3 years or something.
Yeah, I forget her name, but she was like kind of a weird little 20-something-year-old girl. Yeah.
Yeah, a Nazi girl. Wanted to go to a Renaissance fair. Remember that? That was
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. She only got like 3 years or something like that. But I'm wondering, man, like if stuff's gonna come out more and these people's sentences are gonna go up because they're gonna get charged. Can they get charged for other things while they're in prison?
Yeah.
Shit comes out.
Yeah, absolutely. That. Yeah. I mean, assuming that the statute of limitations hasn't expired, absolutely.
I mean, it's only been 2 years. I mean, it's not like it's a decade.
No, they could absolutely get ratted out by other people, or they could discover new crimes or all sorts of things. I think that when people, I don't know if they plea bargained or if they're, I don't know what the specifics of that are, but there is one type of plea bargain where you can like ask to be exempted from any crimes arising from this set of circumstances, because like theoretically, like if let's say I robbed a bank with a bunch of people, within the bank robbery there's like 10 different crimes committed, you know what I mean, like waving a gun in public or conspiring, or there's a bunch of stuff. So smart lawyers will have the person exempted from all the shit that occurs as a result of that. But I don't know what it would have been like if he had charges for some other incident. So,
being that they're the leaders of these groups, that there means that they probably commanded people to do shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm wondering, will this lead to bigger arrests?
I
Because they
think,
said Tario is a known rat. And that
Yeah.
supposedly he will not be in Gen Pop when he's in prison because he'll probably get killed.
Yeah.
Remember when that Callahan guy, remember that guy was at No Gas No Brakes? And
Yeah.
Henry, and he just basically played down that like Tario was just, in the end, it was just a
T-shirt salesman. Yeah.
Yeah, just a t-shirt salesman who went to jail, but is going to jail for almost 25 years.
Well,
for, trying to take over
it's
position.
It's so hard to tell with people like that, like Enrique Tarrio or Joe Biggs or whatever, because I do 100% believe that they feel the way they feel. I mean,
they're straight up fascists.
Yeah, but a lot of it's like griftery opportunism too.
Oh yeah,
and so I don't know where one begins and one ends. Like
that video though, when he got sentenced, there was that video of him where he's like, "Yeah, we took over the Capitol."
Yeah,
playing like the Curb Your Enthusiasm music, or like
yeah.
Big's got 15 years. I love it. I love how Marjorie Taylor Greene was coming out defending these people. It's like, this woman needs to go away.
Yeah.
She's a fucking joke. I heard that college, there's a progressive college in her district, Berry or something, and they're like,
okay,
students not coming out in droves voting against this chud.
Yeah.
In or out, man.
Yeah. College towns are weird.
What?
Are you talking about the college? What is it, Barry?
I guess, I don't know.
Yeah, college towns are weird. Like a lot of times, the kids have to stay registered to vote where they're from.
Yeah.
Like otherwise, you'd get like I don't know. They always try to figure out a way so that the young vote is diluted. But yeah, I don't know. It was just real gratifying to see big, lengthy prison sentences for these people, because even after they committed those crimes, they were bragging about it for like weeks. And
again, they face one of the things you face when you commit crimes too is like there's a prison sentence, but there's also like consequences, social consequences. They face no real social consequences because they're looked upon as like heroes among the chuds, and like they're validated by certain politicians, Trump and all that, and right-wing media personalities that validate and defend them. Therefore, they really are not facing on a social level many consequences. If anything, it's boosting them more and making them feel like they did the right thing. How could you give me a prison sentence for this? This makes no sense. I'm the hero here. Why?
Right. Why am I doing?
Yeah, you're the villain. You putting me in prison. You guys are the bad guys. I'm the good guy. Like, they're facing little social consequences. And I think that's another reason why none of these clowns will ever learn. That's why all those January 6ers that like got short sentences or whatever, they learned They learned nothing. And they went back to doing what they were doing before January 6th, being chuds and stuff, because they faced no social consequences.
Right.
Most of them didn't. They're in their bubble, still embraces them. If anything, they're looked upon as heroes. But I'm wondering, with these big arrests, will this lead to bigger fish like Ginny Thomas or Roger Stone? Because Roger Stone perhaps with the Proud Boys.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it'll depend. I mean, I think the prosecutors would probably certainly listen to any evidence that these people want to provide.
Well, they were able to supposedly. You saw that TikTok I sent you, right, about the
the Secret Service
and the Secret Service, and it was all found out because of DMs. Because what's the name of the prosecutor that's getting all this stuff?
The prosecutor.
Federal, not Florida.
Jack Smith, is it?
Yeah,
he's
getting access to all of these DMs and all these emails, and that's what's opening the door, and that's why I think you're gonna start seeing. I don't think it's going to stop at just the Proud Boys.
Yeah, I don't either.
Right away, but these guys were just goons in the end of the day. They're not. The Proud Boys were not trying to take over the country. They were following orders.
Yeah. They weren't like masterminds or anything. I mean, they were just
they're still
muscle.
Guilty. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Rhodes, who also, what did he get? Like 15 years or something?
He got 15 or 16 years.
He was like the leader of the what do they call
Oath Keepers.
Oath Keepers, and supposedly they were working with the Secret Service. We've talked about this on the podcast before. You said that the Secret Service is pretty cagey or something.
Yeah, the big tip off was when Congress wanted a bunch of their phone records. They mysteriously erased all of their January 6th phone records.
Oh, that's so weird.
And then there's a ton of I don't know if I'd call it rock solid evidence, but evidence of these people interacting with Secret Service members. Trump had a couple Secret Service members quit the Secret Service to go work for him personally. So it was over the last few years, it was pretty well known that there weren't clear boundaries between the two, that they were kind of seen as the Secret Service was seen as working for Trump, not necessarily working for the US to keep the president safe.
Right.
But there's a big difference between the two.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's crazy. I'm just wondering again, will this lead to bigger fish? I saw Charlie Kirk was complaining about Tarrio's arrest and all that.
Yeah.
And said that he's probably scared out of his mind, probably because he was busting in people, and I'm sure his name had to been floated around. This motherfucker has to be guilty of something.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you would think.
And Ginny Thomas is another one. There's politicians whose names are going to be attached, Lauren Boebert giving a tour to January 6ers 2 days before January 6th at the Capitol. Here's this bitch she literally just got into Congress. And what is her first act?
Right.
She gives tours to domestic terrorists to find out, because they said
live tweets Nancy Pelosi's whereabouts.
Yeah. What's that about? She should be fucking scared out of her mind. She's not, because she's probably these people are so fucking arrogant. It's unbelievable. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I imagine that I look at the human. Okay, so we're at the humans. Let's look at the human centipede as an example.
Okay.
So the end of the human centipede, we're not talking 3, it's gonna be multiple ones. The end of the human centipede is Hunan Shaman.
Nice.
Camp Auschwitz guy, or or that guy, that Jewish kid who was wearing a barbarian outfit or whatever. I don't know if you remember him. He had fur on, and he just looked bizarre. He found out his dad was an Orthodox rabbi or something. These schmucks are on the tail end. Then the second one is the guys taser balls or whatever.
Sure. Yeah, a little more story to it.
Self-executed though. Third tier is that girl who stole the laptop. And then you start getting into 4th tier, that guy who put his legs on Nancy Pelosi's desk, that jackass. What did he end up getting, that schmuck?
Did he get sentenced? He was the one from Arkansas.
He got sentenced. He didn't get super long, but I think he got look him up real quick.
Right. Jeez. All right, this guy, let's see what we got here.
Let's see. Capitol rioter who put his feet on Nancy Pelosi's desk is sentenced to 4 years. Richard Barnett.
That was it, Richard
One of the
Barnett.
cases of January 6th by support. Okay, so he got 4 years. He's a dumbass. Arrogant fuck, man. These guys all had smirks on going into court, and they're all crying afterwards. It's man, they really thought. Did these people really think that Trump was gonna hold on to the White House and pardon all of them?
Yeah, I think a lot of them legitimately thought that. I think they were real myopic and only could look at.
Well, they're hoping that a Republican wins in 2024 and they get pardoned.
Yeah, for sure.
I can imagine if DeSantis won, he would pardon Biggs and Tario.
Oh yeah, I think so. I think he'd do a blanket pardon for anyone arrested.
Can they do that?
Yeah, that's what Ford did for people that dodged the draft. He just wrote an executive order and said anybody who left the country, anyone who dodged the draft, you're forgiven. We're not going to charge anymore.
Oh, that's nice of him.
Yeah, who was it? Was that Ford? I don't know. It was a president after. It could have even been Carter after the Vietnam War. They just did a blanket pardon. I could see Trump or DeSantis or any one of them doing something like that.
Yeah.
Say anyone who is involved in a J6 crime, I'm pardoning you. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we know that's going to happen if they get in. But okay, so then you get that guy, and then the next tier is like Stuart Rhodes and the Oath Keeper.
Yeah.
And then the next tier is the Human Centipede is Biggs and Taria.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, you got to insert like Roger Stone or Ginny Thomas or any of these people, and now the head of the Human Centipede is Trump. So there has to be something next. Who knows if anything else will come out of it?
Well, new stuff comes out of it. They're always arresting people. Like each day I look at that Ben Collins or Scott McFarlane and they've arrested someone new. But I know what you mean. We're talking about like the big higher ups like Roger Stone or
the fucking people who bust them in, the people who funded it, the people who gave the orders.
And that's the Charlie Kirk and the Ginny Thomas.
And again, like people who were Secret Service agents, like any of these people.
True.
Like, so I think we're just, this is unfortunately takes a long time to do, but man, it's getting spicier.
Yeah.
They're such arrogant fucks. Like they would attack Portland all the time.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to turn that into like a political thing. Portland, remember that? They would come they'd be like laughing about what they did in Portland. They act like they were just like above the law, all these fucks. You know? They're so smug. These shitheads. Like the Proud Boys and all that.
Mm-hmm.
They're like the most smug fucking assholes ever. So it's awesome seeing this. It
is very rewarding. Yeah.
It's that like these are shitty people. They're shitty people.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they and I know I've said this a bunch, but like they tried to take my vote. They tried to take it away, and replace it with just their little feelings and how they thought the world should work. So, so anyway, I'm really gratified. Really gratified that they've been put away. It's a good feeling.
It is. It's nice. It's funny. Delicious, tasty Schadenfreude.
Yeah.
Fruit,
pumpkin spice Schadenfreude. Well, yeah, I don't know. Well, I think we're going to see arrests coming, just kind of in a steady beat, and I'll look forward to it.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, speaking of, I don't know. Hopefully, some
trials.
Also, Ken Paxton impeachment.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the deal with that?
He was impeached. The Republicans and Democrats got together and impeached him. He's the Attorney General of the state of Texas. He's been under federal indictment for like 7 years, and I don't know why they've never moved on him, but he is under indictment on a federal case.
Remember, 4 of those years were Trump years, and Trump loved Ken Paxton.
Yeah.
Paxton was his guy.
He still does. He tweets about him all the time. But
I love Ken Paxton.
Yeah. So anyway, he's being investigated for a series of improper relationships and receiving gifts and kind of like trading policy for money. It's hard to say because like an impeachment isn't a trial per se, but they have like a lot of similarities. He looks guilty as hell. So, I mean,
he doesn't help himself either, right? Doesn't he? Like he's like one of those pricks who like just tries to get attention, right? He's like a Dan. What's that other guy's name from Texas?
Dan Patrick is the lieutenant governor. This guy's just garbage. I mean, he's the kind of person that like he's always looking for like internet fame based on cruelty and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're just bad people. They just
Yeah.
are. It's nothing to do with politics. They're literally just not.
They're just bad people.
So why is he being impeached?
Well, there's a bunch of reasons, but one of the big reasons is that
And it's being done by Republicans.
Yeah, as Attorney General, he had business partners, like in his private life, and or people that he was kind of connected with, and he would weaponize the Texas Department of Justice to help these people. Meaning that, like, if I owned a used car lot and I wanted the rival used car lot throttled, I might call my buddy in Austin and say, "Hey, can you make this other person go away?" And then they would send agents out there and kind of cause headaches. Like
He was abusing his power.
Yeah, he was abusing his power in that way. So, and there's a bunch of similar incidents, but that's like kind of a big one. I don't know. It's just kind of your typical slimy stuff, you know?
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, again, remember, Republicans, at the end of the day, it'll just be another piece of shit put in his place.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be someone who pronouns put in place of Ken Paxton. It'll just be another chud.
Right. Yeah, it will be. I mean, I'm pretty convinced that if they
Ken Paxton. Hello, I'm Pen Caxton.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with Pen Paxton, that no good nudnik.
It will be. It'll be something like that, where he's replaced with a more terrible version of him.
Ted Cruz's bowel movement.
But you never know. Like, this guy had been in office for a while, and he was always a jerk and a chud. But like other people, they come on board, they get into office, and they gradually shift left. You know, so
because they actually see how the government works, and functioning by actually, the joke is they shift left not because their politics change. It's just because they work with the function of government. Therefore, like it without their control, basically.
Right.
You know what I mean? They are just pushed further to the left, and they don't even realize it.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think that, how do I want to say it?
I mean, it looks like he's going to get impeached, right?
Yeah, I think he's going to be found guilty, and I think he'll be removed from office. And I think they'll put in someone just as bad, but it's still worth doing. You know, I mean, it's still worth getting rid of Ken Paxton.
And it's great to just like the Proud Boys and all these other assholes. It's great to see shitty people face some comeuppance.
Yeah, that's pretty instructive. So, yeah, we can only hope.
Well, speaking of shitheads,
yeah,
this one's shithead on shithead action.
Right.
On chud battle in Florida.
You're talking about Rick Scott, the human Skeletor.
Whereas what's his face from SNL said he looked like a whittled penis.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Yeah, it's what's the guy that was dating Ariana Grande?
That was a long time ago. He was like dating Kardashian.
I know, but that's how I kind of remember him. Pete Davidson.
Yeah, he said that he looked like a whittled penis.
Well,
gross description of a person.
This is like a collection of like interesting facts that are kind of weird, but together kind of suggest maybe a developing story. And that is that Rick Scott, who does look like a penis, and who is terrible, has been dinging Ron DeSantis to the point where Joe Biden showed up in Florida to hand out tax dollars, relief dollars paid for via taxes.
It got affected by a hurricane.
Yeah.
And Ron DeSantis refuses to take any pictures or be around Biden.
Ron DeSantis didn't want to attend the event, didn't want to be photographed with Biden, but Rick Scott did. And Biden comes out and says a few nice words about Rick Scott. And then Rick Scott kind of like impromptu starts talking about how great Biden has been during this process. And then the day after that, Rick Scott dinged Ron DeSantis on home insurance, saying that Ron DeSantis's inaction on this home insurance stuff is making Florida unlivable. So a lot of people are speculating that since Ron DeSantis's campaign is doing so poorly, he'll eventually drop out and try to take Rick Scott's seat, and that Rick Scott's being real mean to DeSantis based off that anticipation, which all sort of makes sense to me, you know?
I feel like, I mean, they both suck.
Yeah.
I mean, Ron DeSantis just sucks. I don't know. They're both horrible people, but Ron DeSantis is just absolute shit. I saw one thing. It was like a video at like a Trump thing or whatever. It might have been in Florida or whatever. And this guy, they were interviewing this right Republican or whatever. And he talked about like how he moved to Florida or whatever. He heard that like DeSantis was doing like really good. And then like after he won his second term, he said that he's like hardly ever in the state. He says everything, it's become so expensive to live here. This MAGA chud guy. He said that Florida is like unaffordable now. He was blaming DeSantis for it. I mean, look what happened under DeSantis. I mean, insurance companies are fleeing. Potentially other businesses, education.
Yeah, it's got a real trickle down effect.
I don't know. I mean, as shitty as Rick Scott was, I don't think he did half of the bullshit because he was governor for 2 terms, right?
Yep. Oh yeah.
I don't think he did half the bullshit that DeSantis is doing during his term, all this performative bullshit. I think he was just a shitty, he's probably just a shitty Republican governor.
Yeah.
But
Rick Scott's terrible. I mean, I don't want to say that he's not, terrible, because he is terrible. But but what?
He's really bad.
Yeah. But like
Medicare criminal, right? Isn't that Medicare fraud or something?
Yeah, he did. He committed Medicare fraud. But like, I don't know. He is terrible, but like, it's nice to see him come around and do the bare minimum when called for.
And like, Christie even called out DeSantis.
Yeah.
Because DeSantis, there were all these photos, like, because it was like last year or something, right? The boots and everything, and like that was around the hurricane.
Yep.
And those funny fancy boots he wore, and there's those photos of him with Biden where he just looks all mopey, and Biden's all cheerful and shaking hands with people.
Right.
DeSantis just looks like a miserable fucking inhuman slob, like.
Yeah,
and, looking extra meatball-y there. Not Ozempic, but Ozempic Ron DeSantis though. He didn't want to take a photo with Biden. He didn't want to have those photos circulating again of him looking, like while Biden's smiling, shaking hands with Floridians, and while he looks all like, droopy dog next to him. He's a coward.
Yeah, that's ultimately it. Yeah.
I mean, like, okay, you become president. Let's say you become president, and governors do the same bullshit. But the difference is between him and Biden is DeSantis is so vindictive that if anyone tried to pull that stunt on him, he would like pull funding.
Yeah, I could see that. He had a real
people were giving that. Well, go ahead. Sorry, what?
He had a real nasty reputation.
He's removed people from power.
Yeah.
I mean, that woman in Jacksonville, when she was kind of defending him a little bit, can you blame her?
No, I mean, it seems like self-preservation at some point.
She's a vindictive monster. She's trying to protect, like, I don't know, she a congresswoman or whatever this woman was, like her district or whatever, because this guy's he'll pull funding. Like, he's a scumbag. Like, he's such a petty shithead.
Very vindictive, very petty. And that's a tough combo to work with, You don't
want someone like that in power.
No, God, no.
Like, just, yeah. I think it's funny. Again, it's funny to watch chuds attack each other. It's always funny to watch, like, Lauren Boebert fight Marjorie Taylor Greene. That's always kind of funny. You ever see those?
Yeah. Marjorie Taylor Greene's like an endless source of laughter anyway.
Did you see that thing where she talked about, like, cavemen or something? Bill or something. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
It really seemed like it needed some context, because I'm sure she wasn't making a good point, but it was real hard to kind of like narrow down the point she was making, I thought.
Like, I treated it as an actual troglodyte. Marcel Green would know that about the struggles of the cavemen.
Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of other shitty things, PragerU, which is a right-wing propaganda outlet funded by fracking companies and other billionaires. Right. Yeah, so there's some bullshit, like they put out these like lame ass videos where it's like someone talking or like, it's trying to distort history. There was that cartoon that floated around of like Columbus or something and like Nat and what's his face? He was like a black abolitionist or something. Frederick Douglass.
Oh yeah.
It was all like just distorted histories. It's like super fucking racist videos. And with everything going on in Florida with education, DeSantis fucked with it and put that Chris Rufo guy in there. They've been like putting like you can use PragerU as in your school curriculum.
Right.
This guy from Ohio. Do you know who this guy is? This clown.
Yeah. I don't know.
You want to pull it up?
Yeah. What is God? I'm trying to think of where I would pull that. Yeah, I mean, you might be able to find it quicker.
No, you look it up. I'm looking up something else.
All right.
Ohio superintendent. Is he a superintendent?
He's in Oklahoma. He is the basically the superintendent for the whole state. And he has signed some sort of agreement to let Prager University be curriculum. And it's a little unclear as to whether or not the teachers have to or can choose to, but the way he's kind of framing it is you can choose to. But I was a teacher for a long time, and I can tell you that's not exactly how it works. These days, in like the modern education system, the district tells you what to teach and you teach it, and you can't deviate from it. For instance, in Florida, you have to publish your lesson plans like a year ahead of time, put them online, make them available, and it says like what books you're going to be reading, what you'll be talking about, the guiding questions you'll be asking and shit like that. So it'll be real obvious if anyone's using Prager in Florida because you can do a word search in the documents and you can find it pretty quickly. Prager is like a propaganda unit. I mean, they readily admit that they have a viewpoint. They're trying to like push a perspective on people. The videos are real bad, and the academic.
It's not education.
No, it's not. It's not at all.
And
Go
ahead.
Let me just real quick. It's even worse than like not good education, because like not good education would be like teaching kids 3 + 3 is 8, like just these facts. Their kind of education has a bunch of facts in it, but then a bunch of like fucked up things included in that list. They're distorted.
They're distorted, lean to the right and to just create a narrative. I found the tweet. Superintendent Ryan Walters from Oklahoma. I'm excited to announce this initiative with PragerU Kids. These additional resources will help ensure quality instruction in American history and values and will enrich educational opportunities for our students. And he attached like a JPEG or whatever with the tweet. And it is like an official thing. Oklahoma City, Oklahoma State Department of Education. And he says, I'm thrilled to announce the partnership. It's official government tweet from Oklahoma. And Chris F. Rufo, who's this douchebag that
he's shithead.
DeSantis put in, some right-wing ideologue. Shithead. He goes, excellent news. And I wrote, this coming from the guy who I tweeted right under. This is coming from the guy who destroyed education in Florida.
Yeah.
This is probably worse though, what this guy's doing in Oklahoma. I mean, it's just disgusting. So what you tweeted something earlier about OCR or some kind of okay, can you explain?
This is I 100% believe this is
this idiot.
So okay. The Office of Civil Rights is a federal agency, and it handles civil rights complaints. And it could be a bunch of different things. Like if you're in a wheelchair and you go to Buc-ee's and they don't have a ramp, that's an OCR complaint, right? Like you can file an OCR complaint because you're being discriminated against based on your disability or whatever. And most people see OCR complaints as tools for religious nut jobs, like a person who wants to pray in a cafeteria and wants to make a big production of it and link hands with a bunch of students around. If the school administration gives them trouble, they might file an OCR complaint. And the OCR complaint does handle religious cases, but I can read you the language that I think makes it work for this, because it says, let me get this out here. It says, if you believe that a covered entity, which would be a public school, discriminated against you or someone else on the basis of conscience or religious freedom, coerced you to violate your conscience or religious beliefs, or burdened your free exercise of religion, you may file a complaint with the Office for Civil Rights. So basically they're saying if the school is making you violate your conscience, then you can file an Office of Civil Rights complaint. And I would say participating in any activity related to PragerU is violating my conscience. Just making you watch a PragerU video might not do the trick, but if they say you're going to do a Prager video and then answer 3 questions about it, you doing that is violating your conscience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just as easily as like making a Muslim eat pork or anything else. And the conscience thing has nothing to do with religion. It's conscience or religion. So, if they wanted to make me dissect a frog in science class, I'd say it violates my conscience. That's been proven in court a whole bunch of times. You don't got to dissect. You don't have to dissect shit if you don't want to, So I think that's the trick. And the best part about it is it doesn't go to the state. It goes to the federal government. So you don't have some shithead from like Oklahoma City or Broken
Tiger King.
Yeah, you don't have like one of those people investigating the case. You get a couple people from Washington, D.C. or something, fly out there, and they do an OCR complaint. Now, I was involved in an OCR complaint once when I worked at a college. I ran the disabilities office, and a kid filed an OCR complaint against the school. And I was in the disabilities office, so I was like a defendant in that OCR complaint. Fucking brutal. They're awful. We were found like it's not called guilty or not guilty. We were found like not like no fault or something like that. We didn't do anything.
You're just fault. You're just called. These guys are idiots.
We didn't do anything wrong.
Well, lovable goofballs that they don't know better.
Yeah. We didn't do anything wrong, but man, that was a nerve-wracking process. The feds come in. The first thing they do is they're like, we're going to need to see all your emails. We need to look at your computer, shit like that. And you're like,
Minesweep record.
Yeah, right. Yeah, back then is when I was playing Minesweeper. So it's a very uncomfortable process. They're likely to find evidence of all sorts of other weird shit you did. And it's burdensome. It's burdensome. And so anybody affected by it can file a complaint. And honestly, I think you could win on this. Even if you don't win, it's not a frivolous case because it's based in, these are all like things. It will slow everything the fuck down. It will, no school will want to do Prager video if they know that they're going to get an OCR complaint every time they do. So I think that's what people should do. That is 100% of what I would do. I know I always talk about like why don't people in Houston picket? Why don't the people, and I think to myself like, well, would I do it? And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, like, it's kind of like work. I don't know.
That's the
right.
the pacification of life is like, why do people not go to protest? Why do people not do
Right.
this? Because they have to work, or they have to, it's like whenever you see all these like MAGA chuds at like rallies, you're like, any of these motherfuckers work? And the
Right.
joke is that half of these people are on disability. They don't even realize that they're collecting money from the government. They don't put two and two together.
No.
Tax dollars are paying, or they're just independently wealthy or whatever. They don't work normal hours. I mean, that guy though, that superintendent, I think doesn't give a shit. I think he's just a rabble rouser type.
Oh, he's doing this to run for governor or something. I mean,
he wants to get attention, and he wants all the right-wing MAGA chud points he can get. I said to, besides the response to Chris Rufo, I wrote, you should be removed because what you're doing to the children of Oklahoma is child abuse.
Yeah, well, it's true. I mean, it is true. Like, look, and it's insidious because it's not as simple as standard educational malpractice, which you see in like big cities where it's like, well, the class is hard to control, so we're going to play dodgeball instead of learning how to read. That happens, and that sucks, but it's easy to see. You're like, where's the reading homework? Oh, they haven't done any, and they can't read, and it's not as simple as like other types of educational malpractice. The Prager University videos will take a real historical event that really happened and throw in a bunch of facts, but then within those facts they'll throw in bullshit, and it can fuck with a kid's head. Like,
that's the point. That's the main goal. Is to indoctrinate kids, to turn them into bench heroes, to turn them into chuds. That is the main goal. It's been the main goal of like what's going on in Texas with like removing certain things and the whole CRT thing. It's absolutely meant to indoctrinate children.
That's what's going on at Texas A&M University. They're having huge debates. It's like, what can we do? Like, what will violate these laws? But anyway, a OCR complaint is so easy to file. It's not hard to file. You don't need tons of evidence or paperwork. It's like a single form.
Is it like what do they call that? Child Protective Services?
Basically,
call up and be like, I think they're abusing that kid.
Right. But like with complaints, it's usually like I actually coincidentally was a child investigator once when I lived in Florida. That was another job I had where I would be a part of these. It's often pretty easy to tell these fake complaints from the real ones. And it's kind of hard to take a kid out of a home. I mean, the home can be pretty fucked up and it not be abusive. So with the OCR, though, the OCR gets in there and it's just brutal because, like, schools got to follow a lot of rules. They really do.
Well, let's hope something happens because this guy's a shithead and it's just so disingenuous what this guy's doing.
It's galling.
It's disgusting. And it's just fucked up because Prager is just this like disgusting man, the guy who runs it, and he's like rich as fuck and he collects it from like fracking money and billionaires. Like, that's a funny thing. It's like, why, everyone talks about like it's interesting, like the right wing, like, why are they so much more profitable when it comes to like their podcast and all that? Well, they're by billionaires, and why are they willing to have these guys be the mouthpieces for them and not like leftist, progressive,
right?
Because it's not in their economic interest to do that.
No, that's true. But I know the OCR complaint's a real powerful tool.
Well,
and I think
let's hope something like that happens because this is it's just gross. That's all.
It is. I'm surprised liberals haven't done that. I know the danger is that you really fuck over your, like, there are, I'm not saying that there's no dangers in doing this, but they're worth taking, so anyway, that's my thing on that.
Well, speaking of something really stupid.
Yeah.
So Tucker Carlson, who the only reason why he's getting brought up because he's pretty much irrelevant. Like, it's kind of funny, the night of like the Republican debate, Tucker interviewed.
And Trump.
I don't think it got the numbers everyone thought. They're like, these guys are so arrogant. They thought like, oh yeah, we're gonna steal like all the ratings or take away all the any type of hoopla that would have come out of this debate. We're
Mhm.
gonna steal that because everyone's just gonna come into Twitter, X, whatever, and watch the Tucker Carlson show.
Yeah.
And that's not the case.
No.
Let me see if I can find this. This is really fun.
It's real sad. Like Tucker, this reminds me of Glenn Beck, who was like on his way up, had a really popular show, and then kind of like
On deck was so horrible. I think even he's worse than Tucker Carlson is because
yeah,
Beck like really galvanized like this whole MAGA chud movement before Trump even came to the picture.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
he,
No, that's true.
the whole Tea Party. Tucker's just the like the symptom of all this shit. You know, like Glenn Beck to me was like worse.
Yeah,
He was such a phony. Everything about him. Like he just seems like such a disingenuous person. Let me see if I can find this Tucker thing though, because it is just so he's interviewing some guy. Do you know who this guy is that he's
Yeah.
interviewing? All right, go ahead.
Okay, so Tucker Carlson was interviewing, I want to say his name is Larry Sinclair, and he has been on the periphery of these like Obama conspiracy theories for a while now, like a long time. Anyway, he's kind of a lifelong criminal. He's been in and out of jail. Most of his crimes involve like fraud and shakedowns and fake diseases, fake names and stuff like that. He's just like a typical grifter. And his big story is that he met Obama one night at a party and then they had sex and did a bunch of drugs together.
Tucker Carlson, a man who claims he had sex with Barack Obama in 1999 tells his story Wednesday, 6 p.m. Cody Johnson tweets, Mr. Carlson, a bat child was just found in a cave. Please interview the bat child.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's so many funny parodies of this. It's like, really, you're interviewing this clown? Like, first of all, okay, here's the thing. If Obama, let's say, is gay or bi, whatever, who the fuck cares?
That always struck me as like a weird part of this conspiracy is that like
Michelle Obama is really a man. That they stole the children. That's why the kids look kind of different. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? The one daughter looks just like Obama. Are you fucking come on? Get the fuck out of here.
Well, it's a weird thing because like let's say Obama is gay. So what? Like or that he did drugs. So what? Like none of that really resonates as a scandal anymore, I don't think.
Yeah, no one gives a shit. After Clinton, no one cared. Fucking they attacked Clinton for smoking a joint once. And then what did they do after Clinton? They put Bush in, Bush son, who was a fucking alcoholic cokehead.
Yeah.
No one gave a shit. All those people cried about it during the Clinton years. Didn't give a fuck. It's like the same thing. Like, well, they were so concerned about Clinton's like getting it on with different women and stuff like that. But then what did they do? They fully back the entire party behind one of the biggest philandering pigs to ever exist in human history. Like, get the fuck out of here.
It also seems so clear that this guy had no evidence and he was just kind of a grifter. And it's just, I don't know, it's just like
well, to me, it just shows you how pathetic Tucker Carlson is.
Yeah,
now.
for sure.
Like, this is the story you're doing. This is like, one, Obama's not president. He has been president for almost like 7 years now. Who the fuck cares? What's going to come out of this?
Yeah, it just seemed like such a not Maury Povich, like a Morton Downey Jr.
Yeah, like
type
you
of
should
thing,
not be taken seriously at all. And then also some people were resurfacing, like there's some video of like Joan Rivers where she's being interviewed and she says that Obama is really gay or whatever. I was like, okay, what is that? Does that validate that Obama is gay? Like, who cares what this old bitch thought? Joan Rivers was nuts.
And I just can't imagine
she would have been a fucking MAGA chud.
Oh yeah.
She was a big Trump, like she was on The Apprentice a lot and everything, and QVC, all those fucking
I just can't imagine a scenario like if I don't know. It seemed like such a stupid little conspiracy, and it was being peddled by someone who's clearly disingenuous.
Right, and the guy also the guy interviewing the person was fired from Fox.
Yeah.
And basically, one of the reasons was because he was a fucking liar.
Yeah, right.
So they're all liars on there, but like, I guess he's a lying liar.
I don't know. Part of me is like, Obama should sue these people, you know?
Well, I mean, if it gets to a point, I think here it's like this is weekly world news. Here.
Yeah.
This is bullshit. Yeah. But like, if it starts getting to the point where it just, I don't know. There's like a point where you can sue or something, or like,
yeah. I mean, the
slander or whatever. But
I guess the best reason not to sue and the best defense this guy has is that it's such a stupid claim. You know, I mean, like,
so,
like I could claim.
Go ahead. What?
No, I could claim like Trump is a space alien, even though it's not true, and even though it might hurt Trump.
I was at a party once, and Trump beamed up into a spaceship.
Yeah, a good defense would be, well, Your Honor, what I said was stupid. No one would believe that. You know, I mean, like, it's almost
which has been like the Fox News defense.
Yeah,
it's always been, and I think that was with Tucker Carlson too. It was like, no one's gonna believe that, and it's like, that's the problem. They do.
It's like,
Triumph Ansel Comic Dog tweeted one of the funnier ones. It was this like really, really old man.
Yeah.
Said, I blew Calvin Coolidge on the next Tucker on X.
Nice.
That one dude who what's his name? The one that's like Peterson or whatever. He like photoshopped his face. That old man guy, he photoshopped on that guy. Okay, so just before I end this, I want to talk about Charlie Kirk. So Charlie Kirk tweeted a bunch of he tweeted something, and I put out a couple of different responses.
Right.
He said, Charlie Kirk tweets today, Obama is from Hawaii. Why isn't he demanding to know how many kids are dead from the fire? I think it's funny how the right wing has like jumped on the whole Hawaii thing.
Yeah.
Like, the left or Democrats or whatever are not doing anything about Hawaii. Like, all of a sudden, Republicans are so concerned about Hawaii, a state that acknowledges even a state, because it tends to vote blue.
Mm-hmm.
And the damage in Hawaii was caused because of climate change. We'll get to the climate change later.
Right.
So Charlie Kirk tweets that. He says, Obama's from Hawaii. Why isn't he demanding to know how many kids are dead from the fire? Also, will Obama comment on the credible accusation he is a cokehead who has sex with men, with a little like thinking emoji? So I retweeted it. I said, will Charlie Kirk comment on the credible accusation that he is the middle part of a human centipede?
Nice.
And he hasn't come out and he hasn't given me whatever, he hasn't
said neither denied nor confirmed.
Yeah. Will Charlie Kirk comment on the credible accusation that he is the Gimp from Pulp Fiction? He has not said anything. I'm still waiting. And then the last one is, I said, will Charlie Kirk comment on the credible accusation that he is the bottom part of a horse costume at a furry sex convention? And he's still, I'm waiting, and I've not gotten any response. And these are, these are credible accusations.
Yeah, some similar ones have proven to be true.
Yeah.
I mean, not like super similar, but very similar.
Yeah. Could Charlie Kirk, the credible accusation that he fucked an eye once?
Yuck.
It's a credible accusation.
Yeah.
Well. Try to think of any other ones. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that guy's a clown, and he should be definitely next on the January 6th human centipede arrest chain.
Yeah, actually, for sure.
I'm surprised that guy has not been like tagged for anything yet.
Well, I think they're trying to score big victories early, and then they'll learn a lot from them for others. That's my theory, at least. I mean, start with the low-hanging fruit or some, big or medium-sized fish, and then lock up those cases, and then you can learn from that.
So, well, we'll see what happens. It'd
Yeah.
be really funny if that guy, because that guy sucks. All right.
Yeah, for sure.
The next one has to do with Bill Maher. And then let me start with the story.
Yeah.
Goes from there. So Bill Maher interviewed Jim Gaffigan. Jim Gaffigan is one of my favorite comedians.
He is great.
He went on Joe Rogan not too long ago, and we talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
Rogan started talking to him about this one guy who supposedly caused all of January 6th, and Jim Gaffigan's like, that doesn't seem right. Like,
right.
He's very casual about it. He definitely leans to the left, or he's like rational.
Right, yeah.
So he's on Bill Maher has a podcast that he does outside of his real-time show. Bill Maher has definitely swinged further to the right over the years. I don't watch it. And I definitely don't watch Club Random podcast, where he sits there on a lounge chair, smoking a cigar, thinking he's intellectual, interviewing guests, and he just says he has no writers to give him good takes on anything. It's like, this is the true. So how long is this?
You leave a kid.
All right. I guess I could play a little bit of it. Can I play a little bit of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
The strike is a perfect example. Those guys would never go back. This strike could go on till
some of the writers'
24th century. They would stay out. I feel for my writers. I love my writers. I'm one of my writers. But there's a big other side to it, and a lot of people are being hurt besides them. A lot of people who don't make as much money as them in this bipartisan world we have, where you're just in one camp.
See, this is like,
there's no in between.
About that in a second.
You're either for the strike, like they're fucking Che Guevara out there. Like this is Cesar Chavez lettuce picking strike, or you're with Trump. Like there's no different. There's only two camps, and it's much more complicated than that.
It is, but I do feel like there is a lot of the points, a lot of the grievances I kind of agree with.
I do understand that they're getting screwed a bit by the stream.
Bill Maher is taking the side of the power.
Yes. Yeah.
He's doing class division or whatever by stating that the argument that the strikers are making, they're not valid because they're not picking lettuce. Like, first of all, he said Che Guevara. Che Guevara was not had nothing to do with strikes. It was something else.
He was a farm worker. Well, he did do I think
Caesar
a grape
Chavez.
strike.
Cesar Chavez strike. He said Che Guevara first.
Oh, geez, I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, he was not. He did not strike.
Che Guevara and Cesar Chavez are two very different people. Yes.
Cesar Chavez was the one with the
farm workers. Yes.
So you're trying to create this whole thing where you're downplaying. First of all, again, not all actors, not all writers make a ton of money. They make enough to get health insurance. They make enough, they have to get jobs to keep that health insurance. If they don't work a certain amount, they will lose health insurance. If they can't get roles or they can't get writing gigs. And the whole point of the strike, besides residuals being depleted thanks to the streamers, it has to do with the fact that they're trying to turn these people into a gig economy, no different than Uber or any of that. And Bill Maher's trying to play that class division thing of you're going to take the side of whiny, wealthy writers and actors when the real workers, get the fuck out of here. He's concerned about the real, the people picking vegetables. He didn't give a fuck. This guy, come on, get the fuck out of here. So I posted a tweet about it where I said, let me see if I can find it. And it got picked up. I'll tell you this. I just tweeted, I said, the liberal veneer of the Bush era Bill Maher is completely gone. He is no different than Ben Shapiro at this point.
Right.
got picked up a bit. There's like 50 likes or whatever.
Yeah.
People were like, yeah, he sucks. I stopped watching him years ago, you know.
Yeah.
So then I wake up the next day and I'm like, looking at my post, I'm like, why do I have so many chud comments? Like endless barrage of chud comments, just like real lame, like you're not very smart. You're this, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, what? So I was looking at the quote tweets who quoted me. And there's just some douchebags, some people who were on my the actual correct side. I got requote tweeted by Dr. Jordan B. Peterson. He wrote, every liberal left. He sounds like he's like a Canadian Kermit the Frog voice.
Yeah.
Every liberal the woke left alienates automatically becomes Hitler or good old Ben at least. At Ben Shapiro. So Ben Shapiro retweeted it too. And I wrote on Dr. Jordan B. Peterson. It's funny to call him a doctor. Said, where did I say Bill Maher became Hitler? I just said he's a right-winger like Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
It's pretty much like all right-wingers. Are you saying that right-wingers are Hitler? Are you saying your boss, Ben Shapiro, is just like Hitler?
Yeah, right.
And he didn't respond to that. Other people pointed that out too. People left comments on my thing. They're like, wait, is he saying that Ben Shapiro is Hitler?
Yeah.
Like, that's how it sounds.
That's what it sounds.
So I said, I got some good comments. So then I posted it. Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah.
I reposted the post. I said, let me see if I can find. Hold on 1 second. I was wondering why my account was being barraged by chuds. Please note that Bill Maher tried to normalize Jordan Peterson on his show Real Time back in 2018. Maher fawned over him the entire time and provided this kook the first true mainstream exposure. That is 100% true. I never heard of this fucking guy in my life before. I was still watching Real Time, and there was an episode where he has this guy on and he was just building this guy up, and he played a clip. I guess like Peterson was being interviewed by this woman, and he was not 100% like full on right wing grifter yet, but he was like pretty much like
in the ballpark
activist. Yeah, he was definitely swinging into it, the right and everything. But it was something I don't even remember what the debate was about. But Bill Maher was just eating this shit up. He was just pumping this guy. And I was like, who the fuck is this bag? And then the rest of the people on the show, the other women, were like, they were combating him and this bullshit. This guy said, Peterson has said that women like should be subservient to men, that men should be allowed to have like forced marriages and shit like that. Like there would be less rape if people were like if men were forced. Like I don't even know. He's got some real backwards views. He claims he's like a classic liberal, which I don't know what the fuck that means. Like what is that? Like you were liberal back when they like stoned witches? Like what's a classic liberal? That's like such an asinine.
Generally, it means you believe in liberal democracy, which is a pretty conservative viewpoint. It is kind of confusing because the word liberal means usually liberal, but like George W. Bush would sometimes say he's a believer in liberal democracy, which means that he's all in favor of trying to fund rebels overseas to spread democracy. You know? I mean, I know it's like a confusing way to think of it, but that's usually what they mean when they use that phrase.
Yeah, the word liberal is being used liberally.
Yeah, it's just a really odd expression, but you still see some hardcore conservatives, mostly like neocons, use that.
Yeah.
It's not always neocons, but often. Like Dick Cheney would talk about liberal democracy or liberalism. And Rumsfeld would, and those type of people.
But that doesn't mean what
doesn't mean what it first appears to mean.
They put up like a pride flag or something.
Yeah.
Like
right. No, but you could see you could see Clinton and Obama and Biden also saying like, yeah, of course we believe in liberal democracy. Because they also believe in spreading democracy, but
virus.
yeah.
Well, regardless, Peterson totally missed my point I was making. I was just saying, basically, Maher speaks for the power. He's shown his true colors. He's trying to play it like, oh, he cares about his writers, and what he's doing is he's trying to diminish what the strike is about by saying their wants and needs are futile, and they don't have the same level as the true struggling workers in the farm, who he too would probably not give two shits about.
Right. Yeah, I think that's accurate.
So, and there was a recent one too with like Joe Rogan like interviewed that Fudge Round's redhead dude.
Yeah.
Fudge Round ginger singer guy.
Yep.
And he went on this bullshit tangent about like how he cares about the true working class, West Virginia or something like that. But it's like when it came to discussion of like, oh gee, when like taxes, properly taxing super rich people, wouldn't that be the thing that would fix the roads and education and all that? And he of course like backpedaled like quickly, because he knows that he has to speak for the power because he's owned by Spotify, which is like a shitty company.
Yes, definitely.
Right. So yeah, I just thought that was funny that I mean, like I said, it's not like my tweet, I think it had like 250 likes or something, but it was by almost like a million fucking people.
Yeah, that's good.
But the funny thing is, it shows that he too doesn't have that much of an impact. Because only not that many people liked his tweet either. It's only like a couple of thousand.
Yeah.
I'm a nobody. Like, he's this guy who was like selling out college speaks and all this. Like, that's pathetic, Jordan Peterson. I expected more from you.
Yeah, he is often that way, though.
Well, the funny thing about that guy, I was gonna like make a joke about him drinking apple cider. He almost like died years ago. Like, well, he was pushing. The guy's a flim flam. Like, he's just a con artist. Like, he was pushing like this old meat diet on Rogan, and he
always something gimmicky. Yeah,
and he was like, it's all meat, and it works in two different ways. One, it's like trying to sell this bullshit, like all he eats is meat and salt and like water or something like that, and it just like it plays into that hyper masculine, like I'm a hunter, I eat meat only. The Proud Boys did the same shit. I remember like that Biggs guy who got 17 years.
Yeah,
pitching. All this guy does is bitch about the food in prison. This fucking guy, this little baby man, bitches about the food in prison, and it's all about like he has a meat diet. It's like playing. It's like, dude, let go of this bullshit that you're trying to sell. This like,
gotta let it go.
What?
Gotta let it go.
Peterson was pushing this.
No, that's what I meant. He's got
Water was the one that was pushing the diet on him, and the guy almost like died. Like he had to go to like some weird hospital in Russia, and he was like missing for a year.
Oh, jeez.
And he came back even weirder, and he put out that bizarre like. Do you remember he put out a thing about Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition where he said like what did he say, fascist tolerance or whatever,
something like that. It was a word salad.
His complaint was that he couldn't jerk off to the cover model on Sports Illustrated magazine. But he very much said, he's like, you cannot tell me that she's sexy in any way. No tolerance. Fascism will push me. I don't know, whatever. It was really funny. The guy, like, he's not to be taken seriously.
Yeah, no, it's just kind of become a clown show.
Mean, so I guess I just got retweeted by tail end Jordan Peterson on rising star Jordan Peterson.
Right.
Don't drag me down, Jordan Peterson. All right. But that's what that was about. And
Yes.
also, Bill Maher's a right-wing asshole.
Well,
All
we
right.
have two topics left. We have one.
We didn't talk
involving-
about. We didn't. I skipped Elon Musk ADL.
Oh,
All right, how about this? Let's just talk about this one real quick. Ted Cruz
Yeah.
beer. Not really much to say. So Newsmax was interviewing Ted Cruz, and Ted Cruz put on some weird show where he had a bunch of men that looked like Ted Cruz behind him, and he was what was it? Like, okay, he was complaining about. So I guess like there's regulations about ceiling fans in Texas.
Mm.
But it has to do with like just making them better. There's nothing to do with the right does this all the time. The Bud Light can, like, no, she was not on the can. Like it was just one can. It was not a thing. Gas stoves. No, they never said we're gonna take away your gas stoves. We're just saying that like poorly ventilated places should not have gas stoves. So you don't die of lead poisoning and shit.
Yeah.
Ceiling fans, the whole thing is like we just want them to be more efficient. And he turns into a whole thing like, in Texas, it's hot here. And they're trying to take away our ceiling fans. And then there was something to do with beer. Like, I guess like a recommendation that you should only have like 2 beers or whatever. Or I don't even know what this was about. And he turned into a whole thing like, you can't tell me not to drink beer or whatever. And it was this whole like orchestrated thing where it was these men behind him. Let me see if I can find the clip.
Yeah.
It doesn't do justice.
So much of that just seems like a facade, like.
Well, like, are we supposed to believe that this guy has beer drinking friends?
Right. It's just like, and he just happened. That's where he happened to be, and I don't know, just a weird photo op.
All right, here we go.
Kiss my ass. Well, I gotta tell you, if they want us to drink 2 beers a week, frankly, they can kiss my ass.
And everybody in the back drinks behind him.
Yeah.
The good liars treat them as the choreographed. It's so funny. Thanks for the unintentional comedy, Ted Cruz. But here we go.
Have come out and said, drink 2 beers a week. That's their guideline. Well, I got to tell you, if they want us to drink 2 beers a week, frankly, they can kiss my ass.
Yeah, big tough guy.
Oh, okay. Senator, I brought a beer to drink with you. I'll drink this non-alcoholic beer with you because I'm not allowed to drink on camera, but.
All right, so
thank
I
you,
want to bring
Patriot.
it up, besides it being funny and not as funny as the pronouns Pink Shrek guy, but kind of up there. Well, one, this guy's an ass clown.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Texas I just saw like around that same time I saw this, I saw that Texas put in like a DWI law, like a real strict one. That says like if you kill, like let's say a parent or a guardian is killed, the person who did that, the DWI, and was drunk while driving, they will have to pay child support, I guess, till like whatever. And I just found it interesting. Now, how is this related? Well, it's just that Texas is pretty strict with their DWIs. I'm pretty sure I
think so, yeah.
One of the harshest in the country. And now this added on top of this. Good, whatever prevents drunk driving. But then you have this ass clown who's the senator of Texas, basically telling people to pound as many beers. If you want to be as manly as Ted Cruz and all the hogs in the background, all these adult Kyle Rittenhouses in the background.
Yeah.
That like where do they? I tweeted about this. I said, where do they get these guys? Like, is there like a factory, like a warehouse where they keep like Ted Cruz shaped men ready to go? Hey, I need 10 Ted Cruz shaped men at 6 o'clock stat.
Well, they definitely have a list.
Hold on, let me check my inventory. Hold on. Dave Portnoy is doing something on Barstool Sports. So we got 8 or they're gone, but I'm making some phone calls and see if we have any available. It's really fun. It's so performative. This guy is such a he's such a doofus. Like, I can't take this guy. Like, he's a senator.
Yeah, that's scary.
He's a clown. Like, what a waste of tax dollars. This guy gets paid with your tax dollars, Joseph.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
wake up every
we're
day, look at
paying
your
for it.
check, and you wonder why it's missing part of it because it's going to Ted Cruz.
Yeah.
Problem.
It is. I mean, it's just such an odd mix to like roughly at the same time to have the senator out there pounding beers while also the state.
But he's not. He's not really.
Yeah,
pounding.
he's like. It's just an odd visual. I'll say.
Again, it's like the same thing with like how the right's trying to bring up masks again, trying to make it out to be this thing that's a problem when it's not anymore. Like we need to create that. Like they're trying to take away your ceiling fans. Now they're trying to take away your beer.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right.
Yeah.
Elon Musk said recently that Twitter's losing money because of the Jews.
Yeah.
Say
Right.
that.
Bold claim.
He pretty much said that he blamed the Anti-Defamation League, which is a Jewish organization, who point out bigotry and hatred.
Mm-hmm.
He claims that the reason why Twitter is only worth $4 billion now versus the $44 billion that he paid for it is because the Jews are the reason why he's not getting advertising dollars. The Nazis that he's platformed. So yeah, Elon Musk is a rancid piece of shit. I don't know what else to say about it, but Ben Shapiro put out a thing where he defended Elon Musk, and because I guess the right, regardless if they're Jewish or not, do not like the Defamation League because I guess they veer to the left, and by veering to the left, they point out anti-Semitism and bigotry.
Yeah, that was,
which I guess is a left-wing cause.
It's that's one of those things where the more you try to explain it, the less it makes sense. I don't know. Elon Musk, for someone who's so industrious and productive, seems to have a lot of free time.
Is he productive?
I don't. I mean, he always.
You don't ever hear about Mars anymore.
Yeah,
I don't feel
Mars.
like. Do you hear about SpaceX really anymore?
No, not really. That's a good point. No, I haven't. I would imagine they're still doing some things, but I don't hear about them.
Yeah. I don't know. But so Ben Shapiro put out a thing. He said Elon Musk is now at war with the Anti-Defamation League, a progressive interest group that proclaims it's speaking in the name of the Jewish causes. I can't do this the whole time.
It's a lot.
Yeah, he wrote some garbly goop. I tweeted, I said, Ben Shapiro loves to support and defend anti-Semites.
Nice.
He'd be the one to happily volunteer leading Jewish people into a shower in the Nazi death camps. I stand by that. I have said that I've tweeted that many times on many occasions. This guy sucks.
Yeah.
On so many levels. The fact that he has to defend, it's like even like with the whole Kanye thing, he didn't defend Kanye, but he tried to diminutive, reduce the impact, kind of like how Bill Maher, same thing, trying to reduce what the strike is really about by insulting it.
Oversimplifying it.
He did the same thing with Kanye. He's like, oh well, Kanye's like, don't take him seriously, whatever. And it's like, no,
it's not a great quality.
No, it's dangerous. And the fact that he has to simp for Elon Musk is truly pathetic. It's really funny how Elon has just become like a full-fledged, like, if you asked me, like, I don't know, 10 years ago, I mean, I don't know if I'd be like, really? I don't think I'd fight it too much, but I'd be like, wow, didn't expect that right away.
I would be the same way. I mean, I did not see it happening. Then it started happening. I was kind of in denial as it went on, and then the next thing you know, he's straight up,
The reason why I don't even know how this fucking speaks is like the reason why Twitter's losing money is because of the no good Anti-Defamation League.
Yeah, come on.
AKA the Jews. Hey, when I fail in life, the number one group
that's where they seem to go.
I need a scapegoat. Fucking ridiculous. All right. Speaking of rich douchebags.
Yeah.
This is the last thing we're going to talk about. Burning Man.
Right. Burning Man.
All right. So what happened at Burning Man this year?
Well, normally it's this big festival in Utah, right? It's in like northern Utah, kind of pristine.
I guess in the desert, right?
Yeah. And it used to be kind of like an underground hippie thing or scenester thing, and then it got real big. And these days it's a bunch of people with money.
Black
Mostly.
Rock City in northwestern Nevada.
Oh, Nevada. Okay. What I said, Utah?
Yeah, it's since 1991, the event has been at Black Rock City in northwestern Nevada, a temporary city erected in the Black Rock Desert about 100 miles northeast of Reno.
Okay. But this year there's like some flash flooding that caused a couple bridges to go out. And anyway, all these people got stuck there and no one could come or leave. And because it was rain,
a desert, right? There's not supposed to be rain there, really.
Yeah. And then because of it could have been like arroyos filling up with water from elsewhere, you know. But the people on the boat were advised to get people in there. I said boat, but people in there were advised to that they couldn't leave, and it got wet. The porta potties failed, and then there's like these weird kind of bacterial outbreaks. There were rumors of Ebola, which were false, but like it just got to be, and the people were stuck there for like 4 days. They had trouble getting.
They can't. Yeah, there's like all these photos and video of like cars completely buried in the mud.
Yeah,
like, these idiots were trying to drive, and they would just get deeper and deeper and wedged into the ground.
And you couldn't even stand on dry ground. I mean, like I guess you could sit on the hood of your car, but like you were walking around in this water that was slowly becoming more porta potty and less water, you know.
It's disgusting.
It's really bad.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. You hear about Burning Man in the years, and there's like art and everything. But yeah, just like any of these things, they always get co-opted by like super rich people.
That was it.
They think it's like their chance to be like, oh, I'm just a regular person. I'm escaping modern day. Like, I'm living in the desert. I'm doing lots of drugs. I'm having ego death, even though my ego is furthest thing from dead. I remember going to a meeting. I think I talked to you about this before the podcast. The kind of people who go to this stuff is like, I was at, I don't even care. There's no NDA or anything. This was a long time ago. Roblox. I was in a meeting, and like I just remember like whoever, I don't even know the name of the CEO or whatever, but he was just like all he cared about. I was like, we're trying to pitch him all these and he's just going on about Burning Man. And I was like,
yeah. See, it's
like, I made an electric bike. This guy's probably like a billionaire, you know. I was just like, well, I want to make a hoodie of this Roblox character. Oh, that's nice, but I'm looking forward to my trip to Burning Man. What it is doesn't matter to me.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I will say
probably there. Probably, I should have did that design that tubby little artist that brought into my office.
Put it on a life jacket.
What? It could have used it as a life jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the designs I pitched to him, and he was probably like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, why would I need this?
I need that right now. Oh well. I don't know. The videos are kind of funny. This is like
I've seen a few
talking about how like they're just this community. They don't need any help. They're what's the word? Like they can take care of themselves.
Self-sufficient. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, get the fuck out of here. You're full of shit. It's kind of funny. Like it's definitely lost its meaning. Like, yeah, there's people who go there, and it's not all rich assholes. There are people that go to it. I guess like it is like $700, but I guess they do a discount for the poor's for $200.
Okay.
That, which I'm like, wait, why is it costs $700 to just walk in the desert? Like what?
Yeah.
Why does it cost $700 to go to this thing?
Maybe to
It's
ship
like
in the water, or I don't know. I mean, it just seems
you probably don't get anything.
like a cash grab.
It's just to get in. Yeah, like whoever's running it, charging $700 a person. Like, well, every year we make that Burning Man a little bigger. That's what you're paying for to burn. Because right in the end, they burn that thing or something.
Right.
Right? Isn't it like
a
big thing, and they burn it? And
it's like Straw Man with Nicolas Cage.
The Wicker Man.
Wicker Man. I mean, yeah.
Supposedly, I don't know. I was reading something. I don't know if it was like a joke or something. They said the guy who created Burning Man claimed he never saw the Wicker Man.
Sure, I guess.
I mean, burning something in effigy is not like
right. That's true.
Wicker Man didn't create that, but it is still somewhat suspicious. Just like how the movie Troll from the mid '80s, the main character of Troll was named Harry Potter.
Right.
And he learns magic. This character Harry Potter in the movie Troll. And then all of a sudden there's a book series that comes out.
Sure.
I'm surprised they never sued. I don't know. Maybe they didn't have a copyright.
Could be, yeah.
But I don't know what else to say about Burning Man. It's just kind of, I mean, it's like, just... what was another thing we watched where like it was funny to see like shitty people or just.
Well, the Fire Festival was one.
That was and then did you see they announced another one and like supposedly it sold out like immediately? Like, really, are you that dumb?
Yeah, if you bought a ticket to the first one and you're still going to attend the second one, then
you do realize there's a little bit of a scam to it, right?
Yeah.
People supposedly like the people who buy them in the beginning, the tickets are much cheaper. They're like only $500,
right?
Like if you don't get them now, like they're gonna be like $2,500. So I think like they might have got bought up as like a scam because people think they can like sell the tickets and you know what I mean, like resell them for a profit. But I think the problem is those documentaries ended up making the whole thing look kind of funny.
Yeah.
Do you see any of those documentaries? Fire Festival documentary on Netflix?
Yeah, I looked, but I have. I guess they were kind of ironic,
Well, I mean, I think the problem is that it made it like funny, and people like it downplayed really how shitty Fire Festival was.
God.
But no, there was something else recent. Oh, that's it. It's the fucking submarine.
Oh yeah,
submarine imploding, where like, it's awful that humanity where we're like we don't have any sympathy for these people who went down there. I guess the only person I really felt bad for was the kid.
Oh yeah, he kind of corralled into it.
Yeah, that one, that's sad. But I guess it's like kind of a similar, not the same situation, being that those people were like instantly crushed to death. But I don't know. I think it's also another thing, like it's like a sign of global warming or climate change. Like this has never happened before.
Yeah. You mean specific
like
to
the mud, the rain, the rain and the mud.
I don't recall it ever happening in this specific event. I mean, I know it's happened like in nature and stuff in that area, but I don't remember an event there having
that time of year in that location.
Yeah. I don't know.
They probably were like, this was never a thing.
Right.
We would ever have to worry about. Like we just go out in the desert and just get dusty and dusted.
Right.
For I don't know, 2 weeks, or I don't know how long it is. And now they've had like an ecological disaster. People are getting trench foot.
Yeah, that's scary.
What is that?
It is a bacterial. It's when your foot is in humid, wet areas, and then a bacterial infection can get in your foot. It's like a really bad rash, but bacterial in nature. So
yeah. Yum.
Yuck.
Yum. I said yum. Yeah, more like yum. Well, has it ended, or is it still going? Are these people still trapped there?
think it's ended by now, but it's a good question. I don't know. I know that they started evacuating a day or two ago.
We're almost done with this podcast, so let's just look this up.
Yeah.
Reminder that the Burning Man attendees called in a fake police report that the climate activists blocking the roads were being done to them, which resulted in cops brutalizing and ramming the protesters. And then, due to climate change, the desert flooded and trapped them all in. Oh, that's kind of funny.
Yeah, that is funny.
That's like some comeuppance. I got this video yesterday of TRX putting all the horsepower to good use to escape Burning Man. I guess like one of them is this Supreme Court justice lawyer who was attending.
Nice.
I guess I invite to attend Burning.
To what?
This guy, he's like a Supreme Court justice. I guess he's also involved with the whole Georgia thing. But he was at Burning Man. He's some douchebag, but he's like some right-wing lawyer. And I guess he's probably gonna end up facing like trouble for January 6th.
Yeah.
But he's at Burning Man right now. White House official President Biden has briefed on the situation at the Burning Man Festival in Nevada's Black Rock Desert. And someone wrote, "Imagine being the person who had to explain to Joe Biden what Burning Man is."
Fair point.
Marjorie Greene, this one's really funny. We'll end this soon. Trump or Congresswoman Marjorie Greene attacks the 73,000 desperate, stranded Burning Man attendees in an unhinged, offensive, and delusional rant. I guess she was claiming that, like, wait, what did she say? She said something about, like, it's to trick people into believing in climate change or something.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
That
was, if that sounded exactly, that's it in a nutshell.
To wrap up Burning Man experience, here's drone footage showing people leaving Burning Man. Some of them spent 10 hours driving just 8 miles. My question is, how did they manage not to run out of gas, and why didn't anyone choose to drive across the open desert? I don't know. Okay, whatever. I mean, listen.
Yeah.
This is how people have a good time. That's fine. I'm not here to
That's a great point, because they aren't necessarily hurting anyone, and they're probably propping up a little part of that local economy with their trip. So
with the trash they leave behind.
Yeah.
But I mean, what local economy? Isn't it like in the middle of nowhere?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm
like
talking about
helicopter in and leave and don't.
I'm sure there's along the interstate, like
someone bought with a zinger off the hostess stand. And they're like, thank you, Supreme Court lawyer that will face probably cool. All right, well, it's still kind of funny to watch.
Yeah, it is.
All right, well, you know what, Joseph, on that note, I'm Rob Israel.
I'm Joseph K.
You still going on about
that?
Thank you for listening to You Still Going On About That. Please like, comment, share, and if you haven't done already, please follow us on Instagram, YSGOAT, Facebook, YSGOAT, and Twitter, YSGOAT. Thank you, and have a great day.